That's right. Episode 95 of the Strength Hammer podcast. We're closing in on 100. I feel like this new format is going strong. Other whenever I screw up the schedule to get Alex on, and now I have to record it in mixed order. That's me. Alex is a wonderful human being who's good at sticking with his commitments.
That's right. Get it done, son.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So Alex, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, doing great. It's a wonderful morning. It's a bit chilly, and I'm loving it. I had my air conditioning off or heat off in the house, and it feels like about 64, 65, and it feels very, very nice.
So question, since you are in your first home now, and you've been there 9 months now, 10 months?
No, a year.
Oh, it's been a year?
Year and a half, yeah.
I'm getting old. So do you enjoy the days when you don't have to have the AC or the furnace on because you know you pay for it now? Like, does it click instantly? You're like,
Absolutely. I love chilly summer days because then I don't have to turn the AC on.
Yep.
And I love the cold. So like you sleep better when it's cold. So
Yeah.
I wake up on like awake. So yeah, I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Sorry, it's a adult men humor enjoys.
This is an old man show now.
It is. I listen
Adult.
every spring and winter change, like like those season changings. I always see how long I can go until my wife complains about not having the heat or AC on. Sometimes I can get away for weeks, and sometimes it's hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, we can talk about cutting grass and how often you should do that. I mean,
We could.
there's all kind of
Actually, I usually don't. I counted my grass cutting this week as cardio because I have to cut my
yeah.
I have to cut my lawn and my mother-in-law's, who's right nearby, and it takes about an hour and 10 minutes
Right.
on a normal pace. And I had to do it before all the rain, so I had 40 minutes to do it. So I was sprint cutting, and my mower's old and terrible. So I'm counting as cardio this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was going to ask you, the real question is, do you have one of those self-propellant mowers or an old school mower?
So I have a broken self-propelled push mower, and when they're broken,
Okay.
that means you actually have to push it harder than you have to, because I'm actually pushing fat past the resistance of what it's trying to do.
Yeah. It's
Um,
like sled pushes, basically.
kind of. I don't lie. There's been times too, like where I've done grass cutting in like my weighted vest for CrossFit.
Heck yeah, why not?
Yeah, extra bonus work. All right. No one's here. If you're here for grass cutting, make sure you like and subscribe. Mm.
Oh, good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. So, Alex, assume your fitness is going well, at pace as usual.
Yes, it's been better. It's been better than last time we checked. 'Cause I think last time I was just getting over sickness.
Mhm.
I've been more consistent. I am kind of getting back in the swing of things. I'm not following any structured program. I went shooting clays for a bachelor's party with my friend.
Yeah, that looks fun.
Pulled my shoulder because of all the kickback. So I've not been doing any, because I never shoot, right?
Yeah.
I'm not doing any pushing movements, but I've done like deadlifts and rows, a lot of pulling movements this week.
There you go. Nice. My week has been like literally sprint cutting the yards, and then a lot of upper, so chest and arms, because I've been doing it at home workout. So after I record this and I set it up all to process before everyone else sees it, I will be going to the gym and I will be ruining my legs.
That's right.
That is the plan, because I feel I haven't lifted my legs in over a week, so they feel like they've done nothing.
Yeah, building trunks. That's your strong suit, man. You gotta press into it.
It is. Listen, I need to start doing hip thrusts to see how fat my ass can be.
Oh my goodness, your butt is voluptuous enough. We don't need to add to it. You bought those short shorts. You're not gonna fit into them anymore.
Oh no, the other Mitchell Hooper's short shorts, they'll always fit.
They expand.
That guy's got a bigger butt than me. I'm sure they're just fine.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, so Alex, with that out of the way, before we start talking about some Warhammer, what we're talking about today for the fitness end of things of this podcast?
Yes, we're going to talk about the least, should be the
Hmm.
least controversial topic. Top three, not your preference, but top three supplements for a regular person who is trying to work out and get stronger and healthier.
Right. So Tren, D-ball.
And out of
No, no, no,
market.
no, no.
uh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
yeah, which we agree on, by the way. And also, a lot of
Hmm.
our friends who are in the health and fitness space, who are also coaches, tend to be of the same opinion that those are the three most obvious, most helpful supplements.
They're the easiest. They're the only, I guess, consideration is one of them can be kind of hard on your kidneys if you have any sort of kidney issues. But I'm curious if we have the same order of them.
Ah, yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. Let's go in number one, two, and three.
Okay, me first or you first?
Oh wait, let's do three, two, one. Let's do the least to best.
Okay, okay. Tell you what, you do your number three first. I have a feeling we're
Okay.
gonna agree on number one though.
I don't know. I don't know.
I
So
think I think
our
two and
our
okay, yes.
what's our criteria? Our criteria is just most beneficial for overall progress.
Yes, to assistance in getting you towards your fitness goals.
Cool. I'm going to say number three, so the least important out of three, but still important, is going to be caffeine for me.
Hmm.
Uh, Caffeine is a great stimulant, right? It can be a wonderful tool if you didn't get enough sleep. It is also a performance, a stimulant, and it improves performance even when you get enough sleep, right? So they've done studies where people got enough sleep, and it still improved performance compared to people who did not use caffeine, right? So it can improve strength, improve lifts. However, if you get enough sleep and you have good structure programming and you eat well, you can do just fine without it. It is a very useful tool. However, out of all of them, it's the most easily abused, I would say.
It's the
Uh,
one that would be classified as a drug, an addictive drug.
right,
Yeah.
right. So it's the one that you need to be the most careful with. So that's why it's number three on my list.
Gotcha. Actually, it's odd. I knew we'd probably disagree here a little bit. So my actually third one is protein powder.
Okay, I see. I could see that.
It's
Okay, see
in
that.
only one reason because I do not disagree at all with the caffeine. Do you need it? No. There's a mental comfort for it with me. I do enjoy it. It does help me get going. It's a nice start to my day to set me off on the right path. That's why
Mhm.
it's actually to spoil it. That will be my number two, which will be caffeine.
Okay.
Despite but I'm good at limiting it. I only have 2 cups of coffee a day, maybe a third if I didn't get enough sleep. But it's always 2 in the morning with breakfast, and then a third maybe in the afternoon. Absolutely maybe, and it's never any more than that. I usually don't do any sort of. I don't do pre-workouts. The only reason I have um, any sort of energy drink is because we went to the Arnold and we got 30. But
That's so many.
right, yeah, but working through them, giving them away. But that's it. That's my number two. My number three is protein, specifically for one reason, and that reason is the fact that I'm more of the mentality now through my fitness journey that I should be getting most of my protein through my food. I see
Yep.
protein if you're trying to grow and you can't get the food in, that's when it's very important. I think earlier on,
Mhm.
shakes are great, um, but I have learned through help of you and just like general knowledge and trial and error how to get all my protein goals in without protein powder. That
Okay.
said, I still have a bunch of it because there's times where I have days where I'm traveling and I still need it. So it's still a very useful tool. It's never going away from my arsenal of these top three, but I would put it number three for myself personally.
Yeah, no, and I could definitely I could be swayed that direction very easily. Just the way you approach it. I think I come from a very busy, like not a lot of time to eat a meal sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So with my lifestyle and a lot of people's lifestyles, it's just the convenience of it is awesome.
Yes.
However, you are totally right. Like protein out of the three supplements, it's the least supplement like, right? Because
Hmm.
it's not actually helpful in any way besides just getting to your protein goal, right?
Right.
Really, you can almost view it as food, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like saying egg whites are a supplement. Like, not really, right? It's just protein.
Yeah.
So whey protein or any kind of protein powder would be a helpful tool, but like you said, absolutely not needed if you already get to your protein goal with other food sources.
Right. Although I will say, whenever I do decide to like cut and shed some pounds, they go back in pretty immediately as sort of like a meal replacement. You kind of almost
Right.
have to because you need to hit that protein so you don't lose the muscle. So
Yeah.
it depends, I think, where you're at, but like where I'm typically at in my journey, that's why protein powder's number three, caffeine's number two. So you're number two. I think we know what it is, probably.
So my number two will be protein powder.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and we kind of covered most of it. How much protein powder? I have clients ask me how much protein powder should be taken for the day.
right.
Is like the least amount you need to get to your protein goal.
Yep.
Right. That's pretty much it. It tends to be very inexpensive, right? Especially if you buy it in bulk. I buy 5 pound bag, and it's very convenient. Chuck, what is typically the best, most inexpensive source of protein in a protein powder? What type of protein powder? Let me ask.
Oh, do I know?
You know,
I think am I doing? I think I do whey isolate, but I think that's the more expensive version. Is
yeah,
it
it's just whey,
just whey?
basically.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's like
It can,
different types. Yeah.
yeah, so whey, and if you have some indigestion issues, you want easier to tolerate whey isolate. And then if you have even further digestion issues, you could do hydrolyzed whey isolate,
Mm,
right?
okay.
Um, Basically just more broken down. But yeah, whey is, they do all the studies with whey. It's easy to digest.
Mhm.
You absorb all of it as far as amino acids go, and it's cheap. Like it's cheap and tastes good, right?
Yeah.
There's other ones. There's collagen, bone broth, vegan pea protein, all kinds of egg protein powders, and they're fine, but they're gonna be more expensive.
Right.
So whey protein, if you don't have any digestion issues, heck yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing I'll say too, if you're starting out in your journey and you had a sweet tooth like I did, it takes a while to get used to it because you're like, oh, this will be a delicious treat. It's because it's not, it's sweet, but it's sweet after you kick the habit of sugar.
Right, right,
So don't think you're gonna be drinking like candy bars and stuff like that. Like it has its own flavor, and you learn to
right.
love it, and then eventually becomes the treat. So just as a heads up, maybe if you're new on this fitness journey, and like me, I have a very bad sweet tooth, so um, it's not won't be as delicious as you think it is the first couple times you try it,
Right,
but it's
right.
very good.
And another thing I like about protein powder, and I think the reason why it's number two for me is because of its versatility, right? Because I
Hmm.
don't only put it in my shakes, right? Like
Yeah.
you also put it in a yogurt, in a
Yep.
Greek yogurt,
Unflavored Greek yogurt.
which is awesome. You could do it. You can make French toast protein powder recipes. You could do like pretty much
Pancakes. Yeah.
dessert, cakes, brownies. You can put them in anything just to increase the value, the protein value of that food without altering the taste significantly, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very valuable tool. That's why for me it's number two, but I could see the perspective for number three.
Yeah, and that's a very good point too. Just the versatility of it is pretty extreme because you could even like I sometimes make protein muffins. Now, granted, I don't count those towards my protein goal per se because I count them as muffins, but it's extra protein while I'm
Yeah,
enjoying a muffin. So it's no
that's
harm,
right.
no foul type stuff. If I fit the muffin in, then the protein's just a bonus on top of that.
Yeah,
And don't forget too, you can always mix it with milk and water. I do water, but if you're trying to gain, milk is a great tool to mix it with. Like I said, as long as you have no digestion issues, you'll it might be rough for anybody like that if you're
right,
mixing with milk for the first couple times, but your body will
right,
adjust and you'll be fine.
right. Pay attention. Whey for some people is known to cause digestion issues. If you do, 3, 4 scoops throughout the day, you kind of go crazy, and you mix it with milk. Maybe ease into it. Maybe see how you tolerate just 1 or 2 scoops with milk at first.
Yes, and warn your partner that protein farts are real,
Yes, yes, they
and
are.
that will be part of your life. But it's
Yes,
for a good cause.
that's right.
All right, so our number one, I think we both agree on here, creatine. Yep, creatine monohydrate.
Protein
Yeah,
monohydrate. Yeah.
specifically. That's the one I always go for. It's just creatine. There's no other junk, no other filler,
Yep.
and it's
Yep.
yeah. I mean, you go to like
Great.
I think yeah, I think the we have the same tub that we each have that you
Yeah,
just
we do.
held up
We do.
there. Yeah, pro subs. But like that thing's like what 15 to 20 bucks, and you're like, oh, that's a lot, but that will last you months. It's one
Yeah.
scoop a day, and it's crazy like creatine how much it helps, even though how little you take. I mean, it is naturally in food like beef and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
absolutely.
but
You can get to your goal through food, right?
yeah,
It's just hard. I think I did the math once. I'm going to be wrong now, but it's like like 3 pounds of meat or something. It's something wild, right? Like a day. I might be off, but it's a high amount to actually get to 5 grams. It's 3 to 5 grams typically. I just always recommend people take five
Yeah.
just to be safe.
Well, you know
Uh,
what you and I do. It's just like a big scoop you throw it in. Like we're not.
yeah, yeah,
We're probably
yeah.
over, but
Usually the serving is 5 grams. So a
yes.
scoop,
I think a
you know,
scoop's five. Yeah.
right, right.
But what's nice
So
about it,
why is creatine important? So we talked about why the other ones are important. Why is creatine important?
I mean, one, it's great for recovery. It's great for muscle growth. Essentially, what it is it's make sure and correct me if I'm wrong on this if I'm remembering correctly. It's pulling water into the muscles and helping keep it there. It gives you a
Mhm.
nice pump. Actually, a lot of research recently. I think Dr. Mike talked about it. There's info on it being about helping cognitive functions, like in the
Yes,
brain.
higher doses improve cognitive function. Yep,
Right.
potentially, not
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. That's still early. Like, it's weird. It's such a and the thing is, like, it's such a simple tool
Hmm.
that like there's so much other benefit. It's crazy from what they're finding out. Now, that said, warning. If you have kidney issues, you need to talk to your doctor about it because it can be hard on your kidneys if you don't have fully functioning kidneys. Or
Existing
or
kidney,
yeah, existing.
existing kidney, right? Is it gonna cause kidney disease for you?
Right.
No, right? Is it gonna cause hair
Right.
loss?
No.
No, right? This is the supplement we've been studied for over half a century, right? More than that. So it's a very, especially creatine monohydrate in its monohydrate form,
Hmm.
has been studied for a very, very long time. It is, as far as supplements go, probably the safest supplement out there outside of existing kidney conditions, and then it's just a maybe still. You could potentially still take it, just talk to your doctor.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta make that choice there. But that's literally it. Otherwise, you should be taking creatine. If you
Yeah.
and you should just be taking creatine. Like it feels like you should be
Just take it.
taking.
It's inexpensive.
Yeah.
It's safe. It's inexpensive. There is hundreds of studies on creatine that show that it's safe and effective in building muscle and increasing performance.
Yeah.
Right?
And it.
Beginner athletes build more muscle. Intermediate, advanced athletes have better progress and better recovery. It makes you look more muscular. It is, Chuck mentioned it is stored in water. Like you said, it's stored in water in muscle, so it's not going to make you look fat. It's going to make you look more muscular.
Mhm.
Right? So there's literally zero negatives to not take it. The only negative is you have to remember to take a scoop every day.
Right, but that's where you follow Classic Kissick on Instagram because every day he puts up at least one post reminder to take your creatine.
Take your creatine. Love that.
I won't lie. Had been days where it's like 11:30 and I see his story. I'm like, ah, shoot. It's
Right.
easy to forget,
Thank you.
especially on off days where I'm not going to the gym. It's like, I mean,
Right.
I've mixed it with my coffee in the morning. It blends into anything.
Yeah,
Um,
especially if you get a micronized creatine
yeah,
monohydrate, because it kind of, like I said, blends in whatever you mix
yeah.
it with.
It's not chalky. It's not anything. So yeah,
Yeah.
creatine. Everybody take creatine as long as you have no
Creatine.
existing kidney issues. Then talk to your doctor and you're probably still okay.
Yep. Yep. So if you're pursuing health and fitness journey, what Chuck and I are saying is creatine, protein powder, caffeine, and protein powder. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Are going to be three most important basic supplements you need. Anything else might be helpful, but keep in mind, already those supplements we mentioned are maybe 5% of your total journey,
Yeah.
right? Things like working out and good sleep and good nutrition are going to be the bulk of it.
A good
Supplements,
program that fits your time.
good program, sustainability, right? Those things are going to be so much more priority. Even the supplements we mentioned, even though they're helpful, you can do okay and just fine without them.
Yeah, if you
And
can't have caffeine because of a heart condition, that's fine. You don't need it. Like if
have
you're
don't use caffeine,
yeah.
and they're just fine, right? So, yeah. And other supplements like a Fat Burner 9000, probably just a waste of $50.
Yeah. Like just eat less,
Unless
move,
it's
eat less, move more. To be honest with you,
right,
that's how you lose weight.
right,
Eat less, move more, and it sounds simple, but that's what it is.
right, right. If you see any kind of fat burner online, if it smells like BS, it's probably BS, right? The only weight loss stuff, fat loss stuff that actually works is usually prescribed, and even then you have to be careful.
Yeah. Yes, and there's other supplements we could talk about too. We'll just brief mention like BCAAs.
Propaganda.
Yeah, like there's other things too, and you can discover those as you talk to someone who's been through it. Like so you reach out to Alex, he can tell you more about those other supplements. We just want to give the basic three that we like, that we feel are the
Yes.
top three. That if you're in your fitness journey, that those are the three you should be considering. You know,
Absolutely.
it's just kind of like daily life. I exist, therefore I get vitamin D from the sun. I take vitamin C, and uh, I'll take zinc. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that just helps my immunity. It's like that's what these three things are. They're your immunity boosters for your gains. I guess.
Exactly it. Exactly it. Those three supplements, if you are into fitness, into working out, into getting in better shape, and healthier, are going to be helpful in your journey.
Right. And as always, we are not medical professionals, so talk to your doctor. Blah 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 blah. Well, you're technically a medical professional. Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not a
not.
doctor, but I'm a dietitian. But
I know. I just got to do that disclaimer because
if you're
internet.
basically if you're worried, talk to your doctor.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
disclaimer.
And also, don't feel like you have to have these. Again, you can just go start working out right now. It's fine.
Yeah,
This isn't like
this
you
is
need to have
the
these.
last part of your journey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't like.
yeah,
I didn't have a shaker bottle for like a year and a half.
yeah,
Was I even at
yeah.
the gym?
Just lift weights and eat healthy and get good sleep. That's what you need to start with.
Exactly. Well, to wrap up this section of the podcasts, Alex, you got a little hobby in this past week. I noticed.
A little bit,
I
a little
nabbed the
bit.
picture off
Yes,
Instagram of certain built and primed models.
yes. Yeah, well, don't get ahead of yourself. They're not primed, but
Oh, they look
they are
primed except
built.
they're silver. I thought you primed the sprue. Sorry.
No, I did not. I did not. So they are built. I got my my Necrons that I'm working on. That is pretty exciting, and
Yep, up on screen right now.
yeah, it'll be a fun little project. So I was wondering, I need to talk to guys at the barn if I could use them for a kill team because I have 10 Necrons and
Oh yeah, yeah.
3 of
There's
those
yeah,
other things.
yeah. A
So
lot of the basic troops can be in the kill team, so yeah, you're good to go.
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Just got to find which book it's in because there's so many kill team books.
Yes, yes, yes. That's gonna be the next project. I am probably going to go with a very simple like Rust theme. Just use Rust effects and
So
have fun with it.
actually, speaking like whenever you come out with the barn with them, we can prime them silver. We have a it's for miniature painting, but essentially what it does is it actually oxidizes and makes actual rust.
Oh, real
Yeah,
Rust.
real rust. And there's also like one for copper and patinaing. It's really cool. We'll show you when you're out there. Maybe it's really cool.
Yeah, that sounds. Maybe I'll save one of them. That'd
Yeah,
be really fun.
sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next we're gonna go over since we're out of order, we're gonna go over. I'm gonna do the news, and then after that, it'll be me and Neil, and we'll talk some Tomb King. So, thank you,
Nice.
Alex. We will.
Of course.
I guess we'll see everybody next week. Yeah, let's pass it over to me.
Always a pleasure.
Hey, everybody. Quick little interlude here. Alex and I forgot to talk about this in our little segment, and then he had to go. So I figured I'd just do this quick on my own. Update from last week. So the World's Strongest Man has finished and wrapped up over this past weekend. I just want to give a quick shout out to the winner and 3 times World's Strongest Man now, Tom Stoltman from Scotland. Runner up, fan favorite, Mitch Hooper from Canada. Definitely crushed it. He had a good pace going, had a bad hand tear on one of the frame carries, which kind of, he gritted through it, did what he could, but, sometimes things happen, and he still hung on to second place with a good lead. And then congrats to Evan Singleton, which I think is his first podium for World's Strongest Man. One of the strongest, craziest, cool dudes, I think, on the whole scene there. So congrats to all them and all the competitors. It was great to watch and follow along as best I could through the other channels, which were on last podcast. You can see that there. I will put links to the Stoltman brothers and Mitchell Hooper's YouTube content below, so you can see the events play out as they did, and their thoughts and such, as well as some of the fun. So definitely go ahead and check that out. And yeah, once again, congrats to the winners. And we'll move on to the next event, and we'll try and keep you guys updated here on the Strength Hammer podcast. So all right, now we'll go over to Neil and myself. Wait, now we're going to myself for the news. Yeah, the news that's not fitness, the Warhammer news. You know what it is. Anyway, stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and brief interlude between Alex and myself and Neil coming in for the fitness topic and the main topic. But interest of time, I wanted to get ahead of the schedule for me and Neil on the news going on right now within the wargaming space, specifically the Warhammer end of things. Just because the topic for an army book review, which we'll see here soon for Tomb Kings, sometimes those can go a little while longer than expected. So for now, you just have me talk about the news this week. So first up, some of the easy ones out of the way. World Championships of Warhammer. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm deeply connected with this. I am one of the members of the US Open events team, typically a TO for Age of Sigmar, but I also do some back end stuff, a lot of hobby projects, as well as just flow of the event type things. I really enjoy it. It's a fun job. No, I won't be at the Dallas event, which hurts. I really wish I could go, but as I said before, sometimes being a member of the team means you need to sit on the bench so other people can be there, and you can support in the background. So I have other roles during that time, which I'll happily fulfill, and I've also fulfilled beforehand. You'll see in the hobby update here coming with me, Neil, here very shortly. But for now, I digress. I want to encourage everybody to go and try and get their golden tickets. So, the World Championships of Warhammer, November 21st to 24th. I should be there. Uh, that's the plan, as long as they'll have me. I usually am on the 40k narrative side, because I'm more of a narrative guy, so it fits my personality there as opposed to high level competitive play. But yes, this is going to be a great event. So I encourage you all, if you're a 40k fan, to go there for the grand narrative. Are we always looking to do an Age of Sigmar grand narrative? Yes, it just hasn't happened yet. I can't speak for any reason why, other than just we could use more people, more budget, all the usual stuff. But regardless, it's gonna be a great event. And if you win one of the magical golden tickets to go compete at the Grand Championships, World Championships, sorry, then definitely do that as well. So, just a quick note here. Last year, we had more than 45 countries currently represented and qualifying players. 600 spots available across the game systems, which I know is Underworlds, I believe Warcry, Kill Team, Age of Sigmar, and 40k. No, we don't have Old Worlds up and running yet. That game just came out, so we definitely want to make sure, see what the community is doing before we try and... We don't want to dictate, I guess, what a great event for Old World is. We want to see what the community says it is and try and hopefully follow suit. So that'll probably come in time here. Basically some pictures from last year. Looks like a good time going on. There's larger tournaments, London GT, American Team Championships, Nova Open are all qualifying. And there's also smaller ones too, so definitely check with your TO if they are a qualifying event. Obviously, all the US Opens are going to be qualifying events, so obviously Dallas coming up this month. I won't be there, but hey, good news about me not being there is I can do reveal shows on all the reveals coming up, which is another news article here. But hopefully I'll be at Tacoma. I know I won't be at Tampa for sure. That's when I cannot work, and I said hoping to be in Atlanta. So US Opens are great events, great team. Definitely go sign up. I'll put links below, hopefully, to the to this article and maybe even to the Eventbrite tickets below. So for sure, check those out. Get tickets available here and there. Some more pictures from the Grand Narrative. A great time. There's Sergeant Steele, great guy. And there's I won't say his real name, but our Chaos Warlord did a great job this year. But also he runs the narrative at Nova Open for 40k, so definitely sign up for that because my goodness, this man puts on a great show and he's beautiful. All right, and oh, here, whole list of all the qualifying events. So if you're on this, if you see an event on this list you can go to, and you want to go compete for that golden ticket, here you go. All the countries. Oh, this is such a big article. I will put a link to this for sure in the show below because my goodness, that is a lot, and it's good to see. All right, perfect. Well, I won't close that tab. We'll move on to the next one. A little bit of a downer on the news here. Pricing update. Happens every year around this time. It's usually around July 4th because I always assumed it was a sick joke from the UK people to update US prices on our Independence Day from them. But yes, there's a pricing update. Capitalism at work, I suppose. The only thing in this article that throws me off is prices of food. Yes, prices of food have gone up, but I've never had to feed a model. And if I am supposed to be feeding models, please comment in the below sections. I do hope this will help them get their prices and then help with the increased pay for the staff across the line. That's the hope for this. Because if they get more pay, then they can pay for the inflation. It's a weird cycle, but just as a heads up, there is a price increase coming. I think they gave a date here. They gave percentages for sure, but from June 10th. So if there's anything you've been sitting on waiting, maybe now's the time to pick it up before June 10th if it's available currently. Just to get in before that price increases. It is what it is. We can't change it. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there as sort of a heads up. So all right, with that out of the way, let's talk some Age of Sigmar 4.0 news, some hashtag new AOS. So we have a obviously new edition coming in here soon. Dallas, I think, will be the first time they show some full stuff about it. Maybe not in full, but you'll be able to see some great stuff going on with that event itself. Like I said, I'll be watching the streams for sure. So, and maybe even do videos on it if I can. Anyway, every mode lets you tell great stories to armies. Path of Glory is those who want to take a narrative step further, completely reworked for new edition. That's awesome to see. All right, so walking the path to glory. Since the first edition of Age of Sigmar, Path of Glory has given players the tools to create their own ongoing narrative as their armies secure heroic victories, weathers crushing defeats, and grows in strength as its ranks swell and veterans earn new skills. In this current edition, the Path of Glory rules focus on empire building, with rules for conquering territories and building outposts. Much like I'm doing the narrative campaign right now for Age of Sigmar with my local group that Neil wrote. All right, anyway, this is tied to overarching narrative of the edition, which saw the first Dawnbringer Crusades lead the Sages of Sigmar on a mission to reclaim their realms. In the new edition of Path of Glory, returning to its roots core rulebook with the Path of Glory Ascension Battle Pack, so Battle Pack specific for Path of Glory, which is great to see. I love that they're pulling that lever and using that Battle Pack to drive this. It'll focus on your Warlord and their retinue. Sorry. These rules will string together their heroic battles, embellishing their personal story as they fight for victory for known across the mortal realms. So if you want your own Teyrathi, 4th edition is going to be your time to do that. All right, ranks and paths. The key to the feature of Path Glory Ascension Battle Pack is the path each of your units choose to follow as you fight battles in your campaign. Your units, including all of your heroes, monsters, and anything else, will gain ranks. 4 ranks progress through as you earn renown participating in battles. All right, so what are the paths? Once a unit has gained 5 renown points, earns its first rank, aspiring, and you can choose its path. Each time one of the units gains its ranks, it gets a choice of 1 or 2 different abilities from an appropriate step on its path. Once a unit has gained the legendary mark, it's not earning any further ranks. Okay, so renown points, 5 to 14 aspiring, 15 to 29 elite, 30 to 44 mighty, 45 plus your legendary. So when a unit gains its first rank, you can choose a path for it to follow. There are 6 paths in total, 4 for your mighty heroes and 2 for every other unit. Path of the Warrior transforms your leaders into combat monsters that can fight whole units and win, which is great. While troops who walk into the Path of the Defender become immovable anvils, and enemies' charges will break upon. So let's look at one of the hero ones here. Path of the Warrior. So you can choose either Berserker, reroll charges, or heal D6 to this hero. And once per battle, any combat phase. So you're healing in combat, so you're going to be around for a while. So I'm thinking, as a Dodgers game player, Hagon Cauldron, that's going to be great. We move up to Elite. And like what I like to is like some of these are passive, once per turn, end of turn. I mean, you can see these all on screen here. So Elite, add 1 to hit rolls for heroes. Or pick a hero's ability in contesting objective you do not control. Add D3 to the hero's control score. If you're Mighty, add 1 to save rolls. Passive, add 1 to the rend characteristics for your melee weapons. And then Legendary. Hero has a ward of 4+. Now that is Legendary. Or the hero has strikes first, also legendary. Depending on your hero and your build is going to be very dependent. Like your base war scroll of where you go from here, I believe. Do I feel that this is able to kill whole entire units? Maybe not quite, because we haven't seen the war scrolls, but we'll see. We'll see. It's still fun to see. It's Path of Glory. It's all about narrative anyway. And then Defender, much the same. You can heal the unit, retreat without taking mortal wounds. You get a ward early. It's only a 6+. -2 to rend, increase control score, or remove damage from the damage pool, from allocating wounds, better ward of 5+, and the unit has strike first. So lots of fun things here for heroes and non-heroes within Path Glory. All right. Each path is composed of a branching set of abilities that a unit can acquire over a course of campaign. Every unit gains a rank. You pick one of the abilities from choice of two to reflect the growing prowess of your warriors. Now, what I love about this, this reminds me so much of Steve Herner's Holy Havoc and Holy Wars event, where I forget which one is the focus on the heroes, but you're given the sheet and you can grow over time based upon what you do. Now this is a very simplified approach to that, but it's fun. You can customize your character to be what you want as you want it. So, I love it. All right. Priests on the path of the devout can become favored by the gods, and they unlock powerful resurrection abilities, a whole new level of divine protection. Uh, Resurrection. Make a chanting roll of d6. Pick a friendly infantry hero that has been slain. Return them to the battlefield, wholly within 3 inches of the priest. That's freaking powerful. That's a prayer. You can't. Yeah, I love it. One of the big new changes is that your warlord can now participate wholly with the Path Glory system. Not only can your army's general advance along the path with any of the hero, but they also begin their campaign with the first rank already gained, which is good. I mean, if I think of Terathi, she's already legendary. Cheers to that. But anyway, moving on. Twists and turns. Path of Glory doesn't use the battle tactics rules module. Path of Glory for life, everybody. Path of Glory is the new edition. Instead, provides 6 narrative battle plans, including returning favorites and brand new scenarios. In both cases, the Warhammer Studios made significant improvements on the battle plans that not only enhance the narrative of the battle, but also ensure nail-biting finishes to your game. Love to see it. Driving force behind the dynamic and inclusion of a twist on every battle planning, introducing dramatic and unpredictable shifts each battle round that leverage on a new underdog mechanic to great effect. Okay, so we're using the core mechanics. I'm loving everything about this. We drop battle tactics and we're doing all the fun stuff. For example, the ritual. I'm in love. That's my favorite. A favorite above narrative players returns to with a twist table that gives the underdog number a way to chip away at the winner's lead. So here we go. The twist for the ritual. D3 at 1 at all costs. Underdog can pick a friendly unit at 3 to unit's control score. Or strike last to an enemy unit. Or pick one objective, 4+, D3 mortal wounds to that unit. That one doesn't feel as great. Wish it was D6, but anyway. It's narrative. You can change it if you want. Okay, and some more exciting news here. Even yet. Anvils of Apotheosis. As the battle tomes of the new edition are released over the coming years, each will include its own set of Path Glory rules. Great. We'll be going into more detail when the time comes, but we confirm each battle tome will build on the path systems by including unique paths tailored to your faction, and each one will also include its very own unique Anvil of Apotheosis, a system of creating your own custom characters to use in the Path Glory games. Absolutely phenomenal. That's where you can truly create your own Terathi. You can treat, let's get her up here real quick. Boom. Create your own Terathi. Create your own narrative hero to truly exist in Mortal Realms, and then write your own lore about her. And just never shut up about it. And maybe, just maybe, like Terathi, you'll end up in a battle tome and you'll be thrilled and you put it in a trophy case because it's one of your greatest achievements. Anyway. All right, next week, revealing more about another model. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. Perfect. Great. I love it. I'm excited. I'm a narrative player. I'm here for it. I might lean more into narrative this edition than not, just because of everything going on, so why not? Now, next up, create battlefields worth fighting over with the update terrain rules from new AOS. Terrain's a big part of wargaming. So here we go. So the new edition of Age of Sigmar reworks, tweaks, updates all sorts of rules. All right, you'll find conditions for visibility and moving over terrain in the core rules. It's all simple and intuitive. Models can clamber and vault over terrain features that are 1 inch or less with no penalty. That's great. We all have these little things on our tables. They're cool. They make the battlefield look full, but an inch up and an inch down is kind of annoying to deal with. So now just ignore it. But there's still terrain. All right. Any move over terrain taller than 1 inch must count the vertical distance as part of their move. That makes sense. I could vault over a couple, like a wall half my height, but if it's higher than half my height, it'll take a little bit of effort. Units and models can no longer finish a move mid-climb. Okay, so if I'm climbing up, I can't stop halfway on a wall, which is always weird. we kind of just never did that as a community. Like sometimes it happened, sometimes it didn't. Tried to avoid it just to solve, not have that feel bad. So now we just can't. You either can make it all the way or you can't. Done. But you can now choose to jump down from trains instead of climbing up and landing on a lower level of the floor that ends move. Okay, which makes sense. Gravity helps us fall, doesn't help us climb. Perfect. Nice and easy. I'm sure there's going to be something. Someone in the comments will be, hey, this is how we can break this, blah, 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 blah. Yes. As long as terrain is built appropriately by your tournament organizer, this won't be a problem. All right. Any model from the lowest clan rate to the most imposing Reclusian, Stormcast, can hide from another's line of sight by hunkering down behind terrain. It's important for the combat range because you can no longer fight through walls. And no one ever really did this anyway on them when you could help it, but yeah, you can't. You need to be visible. It's great. All right, there's also advanced terrain module, more in-depth rules, including table of the 5 universal abilities that define what your senior pieces do in game, such as cover, -1 to hit rolls, unless the unit is charged or flying, impassable, cannot be set up or end their movements on this terrain feature. That's a pretty big one, actually. Obscuring, a unit cannot be targeted by shooting attacks unless it has fly. Places of power, heroes within 3 inches of this terrain feature can activate place of power ability. Interesting. Is that good? Is that bad? Is that too much? We'll see. And unstable. Models can move across, but cannot set up within 1 inch of it. Okay, perfect. Cool. All right. It is greatly simplified from the previous systems and focuses on clear codification that's fair to both players. And I like this so far. Cover offers units a modicum of protection unless they're fresh off charge or flapping around in the air. There's no restriction for how far behind piece. Yeah, easy. If you're in, you're in. Passable obscuring. Terrain presents challenges for movement and visibility in battlefield, while unstable terrain is commonly applied to anything that from ruins to debris. You may clamber over it to reposition, but you cannot end your move on it. You may, however, end your move in sections of terrain that are under 1 inch tall. Okay, so the 1 inch is going to be kind of that terrain spicy point, I guess. Hopefully they re-release the old like fences and stuff, because those are great, and those fit underneath that 1 inch roll, and it'd be nice to have them on the table. Anyway. All right, places of power provide an action that lets your heroes tap into arcane energies, unlocking their casting, chanting, dispelling, and banishing potential at the risk of being overwhelmed by energy. Okay, so risk reward. So here we go. We see it right here. Pick a hero within 3 inches of places of power. Roll dice. On a 1, D3 mortal wounds. You just take it. You failed. 2+. Hero or wizard, add 1 to the casting or chanting rolls. If the hero is not a wizard or priest, they can use Unbind or Banish Manifestation ability as if they had Wizard 1. This is great. So originally when you see like the whole places of power, it's like, oh, it seems maybe narrative, that might be too much. But when you read this, it's not. It gives you a chance for those armies that can't, and doesn't really overly help the people that can. So I'm a fan. I like this. Activate place of power type ability for match play specifically. I do like this. All right, so core rules general's handbook both contains Citadel terrain list, which includes list of terrain, features old and new, and what size they are, number of pieces, combined with the optional terrain maps, which are great. It's great to see those. It helps. This is going to make TO's life so much easier, or just games in general. So like you see what's a small, medium, what type of terrain it is, pictures even including, and then also like just here's a little chart on the side. Faction terrain small, faction terrain medium. You know, it's just this just makes life easier, and the more data we have to start a game, hopefully the easier it is to have a nice clean game with your opponent. Alright, so unlike a faction terrain which can be targeted and destroyed, regular senior pieces are indestructible. So you'll always have to factor them into maneuver abilities and for objectives. So no more destroying or moving. Maybe you can destroy their rules, like like the overgrown rules. I don't know if those are going to be in play anymore, but terrain is there and it stays there. That's great, unless it's a army specific. Right. There may be some cases where a unit has barricaded themselves upon a terrain feature to secure line of sight with their ranged weapons, or simply provoke the enemy with taunts. Looking at Gloomspite when it gets here. Even if there's no room for your unit to get up there, you'll still be able to charge them as long as they're within a ½ inch of terrain features instead. So garrison is here in some fashion. They're calling it barricaded. so far in this article without keywording it. I just hope those rules are clean and simple. They're a little bit convoluted. They were kind of a sticking point. They made KO less than fun to play. It's confusing, but we'll see. But there's going to be some sort of way to garrison specific types of terrain, which is fine. Doesn't bother me as long as the rules are clean and simple. All right. And then that cleans up that. So next article we're going to finish up on here. It's going to be, we got a teaser. So with the US Open Dallas coming up here soon, we have a lot of previews. They're going to reveal the name of the box and show off everything inside. All the Stormcast, all the Skaven, whatever we haven't seen yet. There'll be demo games hosted by our demo teams, and there'll be an appearance from there'll even be an appearance from some special guests. I assume that maybe Matt Rose or such. Should be a great time. So Thursday, 16th of May, and Friday, 17th of May. So I will be watching. I'll do videos for you guys here on the YouTubes. So we'll definitely check that out. And then there'll be a second preview. So these are going to be Age of Sigmar specific. So we'll keep in mind here. Second preview is going to be on Saturday, focusing on anything that isn't Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So we'll have 40k, Horus Heresy, Necromunda, Legion Imperialis. I'm sad there's no Warhammer Old World, but we know what's coming up next anyway, and they're kind of just staying one step ahead, so it would be weird to have more than what we already know. So yes. And then more importantly, this is very important. I'm excited for this. I wish I was there to watch it live, but I'm not. There'll be a match play masterclass. So we're going to have the Lumineth Realm Lords and Skaven. So essentially the top two from last year's World Championships. So Nicolas Tassone, who was from France, he was Lumineth player, and then Tom Maldsey from the UK, who's the Skaven player, are going to be doing a 4th edition game. They did this for last year for 40k. It's a great time. They try to bring up all the stuff going on. It's a great way to learn more bits and pieces of the rule than what we know already, so definitely worth watching. Probably could be a good 3-hour game, I imagine, at least. Maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter, depending on how it goes. But well worth look-see. So there we go. That's the news. So with all that wrapped up, I'm going to pass it off to myself and Neil, where we're going to talk about Tomb Kings. All right, see you on the other side, guys. Bye. There he is.
Hey.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Just a black screen right now because my internet's doing a thing.
No, I see you. I see a beautiful face, amazing beard, glasses, a nice map. Crack a nice hold Topo Chico, because
I had to go with the glasses today because you're probably gonna have me reading things.
I had to as well because my eyes were tired of my contacts. So yeah, it was.
God, yeah, I still can't see anything yet on this. It's still chugging along here.
It'll catch up. It'll catch up. How you doing tonight, Neil?
How have I been?
How have you been?
Busy. I got 6 days this week.
Oh Jesus!
So I work tomorrow. I work Saturday, and then it's Mother's Day, and so we're off to Cedar Point with the kids and another family.
Ooh, that's fun.
A day up there riding roller coasters.
We've been. I recorded as soon as you joined. Neil, I clicked record.
Sure.
We're deep into episode 95. It's really out of order. I just recorded the news separately to make Neil's life easier tonight. I haven't even recorded Alex's section yet, even though you've listened to it at the start of this podcast, because work was so busy for me that I could not get off the call to take care of that. So it will happen. Don't worry. It's the show go out Friday as usual.
Nice.
That said, Warhammer. I like Warhammer.
Yep, Warhammer's awesome.
Warhammer's
Corporations
fantastic.
should keep making Warhammer.
They should, as I try and figure out my light situation here. Hitting the wrong buttons. That's fine. We're going to go with that. That sound good, Neil?
Sure. Yeah.
Perfect. Neil, how are you doing tonight? Outside of
doing
work
good.
being a fucking pain in the ass.
Doing good. We went to the Mexican restaurant tonight. I got myself a little Corona Rita. By a little Corona Rita, I mean a large Corona Rita.
Yeah. Actually, I should have taken a picture of that because If you know, you know.
Yeah,
That's a great drink.
really. I mean, I don't consider myself a lightweight. Tequila is a little, hits me in the right spot and hits me pretty hard. But one Corona Rita is enough to start feeling a little something, and then two Corona Ritas.
You had you had two?
No, I did not.
Okay. I was like, I've been to that Mexican restaurant with you I think one time, and you got it. And I was like, all right, give it to me as well. And I got drunk so fast. It wasn't like a terrible like can't walk drunk, but I'm just like I'm drinking it, and like she comes up to order the waitress, and I'm just like, I don't know what English is anymore. Give me something with beans and rice, please. But it was delicious. It was absolutely
Yeah,
delicious.
I've had two of those on a night and walked home.
As you should. Yes, that is not a drive home type of drink.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But also, I need to make it back out your way so I can enjoy one with you and play some
Absolutely.
Warhammer.
Yeah.
Let me know next time your lovely wife and kids are away, and I can
Yes.
invade your home. Ah. That said, Neil, I got a song in my heart. It's a good day.
Mhm.
How about you? Let's say anything. What's the good news? Give me some good news. Let me
Some
hear
good
some good.
news
Let
is
me hear
we're
some,
about to talk about an army that I have never even thought for 30 seconds about.
that's fair.
So
That's fair. It's
I
for
have done a little inquiry into the rules on these guys, but never really considered playing Tomb Kings. So
I would not have either until Force
yeah,
2 years ago.
uh-huh.
If that dice roll that got me a Tomb King's army didn't happen, I would not even care about this conversation as well.
I have to say that I am surprised and honestly a little I kind of love it. A very anti GW thing to have done was to start with the two armies from Eighth Edition that I don't want to say nobody played, but they weren't very popular at the time.
That's fair.
Oh, man.
It's good. Well, I mean, to be fair, on the last Warhammer Weekly where I was able to guest appearance on a week or two ago, Vince wants me on to do a Bretonians show, which means I might give you a way out because I might just count that as our Bretonian show. We'll see.
There you go.
Because we'll go deeper in that show than we ever will in this show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Leave
But
it
before
to
we
you.
talk about the mighty Tomb Kings of Khemri, we should talk about some hobby, Neil.
Mhm.
Let's talk some hobby. So let me get the little image up here. Boop, boop, miscellaneous window. So I'll start with mine first, since that's just how I have it
Please.
ordered tonight.
Yeah.
So some hobby from the past week is building some models for the U.S. Open Dallas event, specifically for a Spearhead event, which you can go participate in. So there's a chance you might have some models built and primed by myself and a few members of my local club. So that was a fun couple nights. Finish that up. Also, asked to build some terrain for that event just in case the surge increases demand because of all the fourth edition stuff going on there for Dallas. So I've not taken a picture of all of it, but here's a picture of one of the dead dragons that I primed. They are painted. There's a bunch painted. They're going out to Dallas tomorrow. Next up, Black Talons. Finished painting those up. This little side project. I enjoyed it. They're based and primed, or not based primed. They're based and painted to go with my Daughters of Cain. I love the show. The show is fantastic. Get Warhammer Plus just to watch that show. That's all I gotta say.
Is it the series that is continuing, or is it just like already done, or what's the deal there?
No, I think they're doing multiple seasons. I think there's only like there's a decent amount of episodes out, like enough to watch in a nice long afternoon. But I didn't care about Neve when she first came out as a character.
Uh-huh.
Just generally, like, and then when the Black Talons came out, I was a Warhammer Plus subscriber, and yeah, like the show was just phenomenal. It does a better job of doing that whole Sigmar lied thing. And like, yeah, we all know Sigmar lied because in this show alone, they know stuff's going on with their reforging.
Right.
So like that Sigmar lied thing hits even less if you're a fan of the Black Talons and you follow their story, because like the whole story is about the reforging costing them stuff.
Don't get me started on that.
No, I'm saying like, but the show is phenomenal. It's well animated. I've enjoyed it. There's a whole episode about Muscle Mommy Daughters of Cain that they're up against, which is great.
Muscle Mommy
There's
Daughters.
no way to describe it otherwise. All right.
That's so funny.
But the characters are great, and I do absolutely love it. So, great kit. I wanted to have them. Happy to have them built and painted. I might do a little bit more like silver highlighting on their armor here soon, but not yet. They look good enough for now. Then I have a Napoleonics army. Neil, I know you're really excited about that. I can see your face change. No one else can, but I can see your face change. I know. Actually, I might see if someone will commission paint this for dirt cheap. So we'll move on to the more exciting thing, which is I have built and primed my commitment for our Tale of Four Warlords.
Yes.
It arrived Tuesday. It was a nightmare to paint as a model kit. I don't know why. This model didn't look brutal to build on the box art, but I literally took a picture of it last night. I was going to build it last night and on Instagram. And let me shout out the person who messaged me about it, because it was like instantly they replied to this. It's loading. Bradley Ambrose, what is his Brad_Ambrose on Instagram. He said, "Hey, that model's a nightmare to build." And I was like, you know what? I appreciate that. I will wait till tomorrow. I messaged him today to follow up. So yeah, I'm building it today, blah, blah, blah. He said, get tweezers if you have any type of hands that are not like children's hands. Yes, true. This model, the brand, like some pieces, easy, no problem. Other pieces, just a nightmare to put together.
Wow.
I don't know why. Like it's like extra pieces of reins, and the saddle was a nightmare. It looks gorgeous, and you cannot see a flaw on it after you have built it, but it is a struggle to build.
Wow. I've been there with some GW models, more the newer ones, with the AutoCAD going crazy for the sprue, but
well, this one didn't seem over designed. It's just the pieces, the way they lined up. That's just how it worked. That said, I have another one to build because I have the Duke without the BSB, and I think it's the same kit for the rider. But thank goodness there's only a few you need, because it is.
Yeah, hell, imagine a whole army of that. Yeah,
it is hard to build this one, and I don't know why, other than just that's how it was made.
Huh. Interesting.
But my stuff aside, Neil, we'll show this again and we'll talk more in depth when we do our Tale of Four Warlords, but I see 3 beautiful characters on screen right now.
Yeah.
For a new high elf army. Tell me about them.
Yeah, so those are my 3 characters for our Tale of Four Warlords. Those are high elf characters. One is a handmaiden of the Everqueen, and that's a Hero Forge creation design.
Yep.
So, turned out pretty cool. I think it kind of fits in fairly seamlessly with the sculpts that I'm using. A little bit difference in scale, hand size, things like that. So if you're really nitpicky, which I am not, maybe it doesn't go so well, but I think it looks great. So there's that. There is a kind of a kit bash a little bit from Last Sword Miniatures that is a great eagle with a prince on top of it.
Yep.
He's kind of my narrative hero. He is my Teyrathi, so to speak. Not nearly as fleshed out as Teyrathi, but
not yet.
One day he has been with me many, many more years.
Yes.
than Teyrathi, despite not being as fleshed out. And not that particular model, but the concept of him has been around for since the early 90s. So, and I was a kid, and he was my hero. So,
He's
he
back.
is in kind of my narrative list all the time. So, and then the other one is a sculpt that looks fairly similar to a sculpt you may have seen somewhere, shrunken down, of course,
Yeah.
and that is my wizard for this high elf army. So, put some. What do you call them? Transfers on there on his cloak
Some
and everything.
Classic transfers. Those are old school transfers.
Those are old school, very old school, to the fact that when I was trying to put them on, they were literally disintegrating. They were so old.
Yeah,
so,
the one on the far left of the screen, that dragon with the tail going down.
Yeah.
I tried that 3 times on one of mine.
Oh yeah,
failed, and
that
it
was
just
I
it
think,
disintegrated. That was the
that was
worst one.
fourth transfer, I think, and I finally got something that was okay.
Yeah,
So,
they're so old.
the eagle actually, like I had to piece together its face because there's like,
Yeah. If you're out there and you've been sitting on transfers, you think about waiting longer. No, just use them. They don't hold up.
no, they do not. Not for years, not for decades.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
for sure. I've actually done a little bit of work since those pictures were taken. So
Okay.
I've added some basic material, and so there are the pink roses kind of wrapped around
Yep.
the statue of the eagles on, and also some pink roses in front of the handmaiden as well. And so yeah, it just kind of gives them a little extra softness, a little extra flair for, maybe a little bit of where the realm they come from. So I think it looks really nice, especially with that those teal cloaks. So
Yeah, I love it. I love it. But you can hear more about that over on the Tale of Four Warlords. Whoops, I blocked out the wrong. There we are. We're back. We're back. Okay. Yeah. We'll definitely hear more about that over on the Tale of Four Warlords YouTube series. The first one is out, so go check that out. And if you are a fan, there'll be a playlist for it, and we'll do one every month, as that said, where we talk about our commitments. Well, the first one was talking about all of our commitments, but we'll talk about what we painted and such. And I think I might do sprinkled throughout just ones where I grab each one of us to talk about our army's narrative lore whenever we feel individually confident to talk about it. Like, this is what it is, and kind of go a little bit deeper, specifically one-on-ones. So just to add a little more content mixed in with it.
Mm-hmm.
And there is confirmation. Terry, the missing orc warlord, will be available for it. He just set his alarm for the day incorrectly. For Monday instead of Sunday at 6 a.m. So, hey, it is what it is.
Yep.
Well, Neil, I have to ask, is your body ready?
Oh, so ready.
So ready.
In fact, I would say it's not ready at all. It's disintegrating. It's so dusty, and no more flesh left on these dry bones.
Would you be flammable by chance?
I could even be flammable.
Oh my
which
goodness.
really isn't that big of a detriment. So
Not really. No. Remember whenever you used to put flaming banner on a unit and be like, "Man, I'm a baller," and now you're just like, "Wow, you wasted points."
Now we'll get rid of a 6+ ward. But hey, it's something.
It's something. Sorry. So tonight, everybody, as you can easily tell, we're talking about the Tomb Kings of Khemri. We're going to talk about their basic army rules, as well as dive into the Arcane Journal as our army review here. Much like we did with the Orcs and Goblins, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's not going to be as in-depth as maybe you want if you're trying to win a tournament. But if you just enjoy Warhammer and the existence of Warhammer and like talking about cool-ass shit, this is the review for you. Any other type of review? Leave. Just turn it off. Unlike, stay subscribed and go to that Old World Charm, Square Based, wherever you want. But if you just like fun, you stay right here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Neil, so tell me, just high level, Tomb Kings, what do you feel about them? I know you've not played them, but you've seen them about. You've heard stories. You know what they're about.
I do. Yeah, it's all about Cetra. Let's be honest.
I mean, we'll get there.
It's yeah, I mean, I feel like the whole, like when I think about Tomb Kings, I think about Cetra. Period. Thankfully, he has been brought back for the old world. If he wasn't, I don't know. I don't know which direction you go with Tomb Kings without Cetra, but he is. We'll get there, I suppose. But that's the first thing I think of when I think of Tomb Kings is that Cetra, in fact, does not kneel.
He does not. No, absolutely not. I'm kind of bummed that there's no Chaldea back because I love my shooting shenanigans with this army from 8th edition. But you're right. If there was only one main character to bring back into this, it has to be Cetra.
Yeah. Now, outside of the main characters, there are a lot of cool units. There are a lot of visually units that stand out as something that's pretty unique in this army. When you're talking about like classic fantasy tropes and things like that, Tomb Kings does not really fit the bill for any of that. It's a pretty unique army. And so, but one thing that is not unique, I suppose, is chariots. And when I think of this army, I think of chariots all the time as well. You can think of the big war sphinx, is cool.
Where's War Sphinx, Necrosphinx?
Necrosphinx, there you go.
Um,
Those are kind of, you wouldn't find that anywhere else.
Yeah.
So very, very unique models there.
And now they
The
have a
army-
dragon. On top of all the cool stuff, you can take a dragon with this army.
And for those of you who may have been like me, who originally saw that come out and maybe weren't super excited about it, maybe thought, it doesn't look awesome. I finally saw, and I think I talked about this in one of the other shows, I finally saw one in the flesh, so to speak, in the bones. And it's a sweet ass model, period. Just really cool. Love how big it is. So yeah, they got another banger for this army.
Yeah, I was the same. I was like, that's all right. I could see where there's improvements, and then I got my model and I built it, and I was like, damn, I love this thing.
Yeah.
Didn't even look at the rules yet. I was like, this is just a cool model.
All
right.
Yep.
So how do we fit into this list here? So let's look at the basic Tomb King army to start.
Yep.
So your Grand Army composition, 50%, you have 1 Tomb King or Tomb Prince, 1 High Priest or Mortuary Priest, 0 to 1 Tomb King or High Priest per 1,000 points, and Royal Herald and Necrotex. Your core, obviously 25%, 1+ unit of Skeleton Warriors and or Skeleton Archers, then Skeleton Skirmishers, Tomb Swarms, Horsemen, Horse Archers, Chariots, which Chariots as core, we keep that Chariot love, right, Neil?
Yeah, absolutely. I freaking love chariots.
They're good. They're good.
I really do. In any army.
Yep. And then 0 to 1 unit of Tomb Guard or Sepulchral Stalkers may be taken as core. Special, 50% as usual. Tomb Guard, Ushbati, Stalkers, Carrion, and Necropolis Knights. 0 to 3 Tomb Scorpions, which, oh boy, they are good. And 0 to 2 War Sphinxes per 1,000 points. Rare, 25%. Necrolith Colossus, Necrosphinx. 0 to 2 Screaming Skull Catapults per 1,000 points. 0 to 1 Casket of Souls per 1,000 points, which you will always take. Spoilers there. And then the Mercenaries Allies, which we won't worry about.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I know what Neil and I think. Chariots for days. How many chariots do I have? Well, thankfully I have enough to fit my entire core. That's the goal right there. General stat line we're going to be looking at here. Movement 4, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 3, toughness, 3 to 4. That's wounds 1 to 2. Just the usual stuff. They're dead humans. Let's be honest with it. Instead of going point by point, unit by unit. Like you have your beat stick character, you have your BSB, you have your level 4, you have your level 2, you have all that good stuff. Now, the thing that's fun is things where it's just like the special things, like if you're taking a Tomb King or Tomb Prince, you have My Will Be Done, which is command subphase turn. Character may attempt to exert their will upon those around them by making a leadership test using your leadership of that character. The test is passed, one of the following modifiers happens till the start of the next subphase turn. Plus D3 movement, plus 1 weapon skill, or plus D3 initiative. Those are all great things.
Yeah, really good.
Especially because I think Cetra can do like 2 of those or all of them or something when we get to him.
Really? Wow.
He can do more than 1.
I love that you get to choose it too. It's not a roll. Like, obviously, if it's turn 1, you probably want to move.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Nope.
Yeah.
Why do some of these things matter? Well, Neil, as you know, you're not... One, we talked about the flammable. You're going to take some extra... You're going to lose regeneration and stuff like that. But you're also indomitable. Which, Neil, you know how undead works. You don't ever really run away.
Yeah.
I mean, you do in this game. You fall back 2 inches, whatever, give ground. But, Neil, do you know how it works whenever you lose a combat resolution in this game for Tomb Kings?
Yeah. For Tomb Kings, basically, you get pushed back. And however bad you've lost the combat, you start to crumble a little bit. Is that correct?
It is. And Indomitable will reduce that crumbling.
Okay.
A BSB will reduce it by another 1. Characters reduce it within a unit by a couple. So if you lose by 3, but you're in a unit with your Tomb King and your BSB, well, you're probably just ignoring it anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're going to really have to chop through these guys. Now, if the guys who have the Indomitable have been taken off the board, what happens then?
Well, you just might as well just get a beer and go to lunch early because you're not winning that game anymore, Neil.
Yes. So that is
Well,
the weakness. So.
yeah, this is a very character-dependent army, as Neil's alluding to. Granted, it is harder to take out the characters in this game now, but if you lose your characters for something silly, it can be detrimental pretty quickly for you.
Yeah. This kind of thing is like it's like a lose more, right? Like if you lose your characters, you've lost the game. If you've allowed yourself to lose the characters, you've already lost the game, right? So it's kind of like did you play well enough, right? Did you protect these things well enough to actually play out the game? Because if you didn't, pick up your toys, mate.
Right. Right. Now, things to keep in mind. Let's talk about the special rules for this army. So there's actually a lot more for this one than usual. So the arrows Asap, however you want to pronounce it. So you don't care about modifiers to hit when shooting, positive or negative. Granted, your shooting ballistic skill is garbage, but it pretty much means you're walking around shooting and hitting on 5s nonstop. Just, hey, that's fine. Because the other thing you're not doing is you're not marching in this army. You're not retreating in this army. You're not falling, or you're not standing shooting with this army. You're just there.
Mm-hmm.
So any benefit that's not going to hurt you is not a bad one.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, we'll take that.
Would you lean into this, or do you just enjoy it that you have it for a few units that will care about it?
I think right now, just in general, small arm shooting, you'd have to really lean into it. You'd have to super lean into it. And I'm really not sure that's the way this army is going to be successful. So I think it's a nice bonus, but nothing you're going to hang your hat on. So.
Okay. They also have Cleaving Blow, which we've seen elsewhere. Model natural hit roll of a 6, making this Cleaving Blow attack. Regular infantry, heavy infantry, light infantry, heavy cavalry, war beast get no armor or regeneration save, just ward saves. That's fine.
Huh. Now, did you notice what's not included there?
What's that?
Chariots, right?
That's true. I guess no chariots, yeah.
More reason to play chariots, baby. Let's go.
Fair enough. Good call out. All right, then we also have the Curse of the Necropolis. Model of this rule loses its last wound to an enemy attack. That unit that made the attack must immediately make a leadership test. If failed, enemy unit suffers D3 strength 2 hits with AP dash. I think it's on things like the really big things. That's not an army wide. There's just a few things here and there that will have that. Dry as dust, we mentioned, which each time a model suffers an unsaved wound from a flaming attack, your opponent may roll D6 on a 1 through 3. The flames quickly die down and the model escapes further harm. On 4+, flame takes hold. You lose 1 more additional wound. I mean, that's not as bad as it used to be for 8th edition Fantasy, which was just double damage.
Yeah.
And then the Indomitable, which we talked about before, just to drop that reduction down a little bit, so always a good thing. But wait, there's more. Neil, do you want to talk about the Kopeshes? Do you have that in front of you?
Yeah. Hand weapon carried by a model with this special rule has an armor piercing characteristic of -1. It's not bad.
And I think everything in the army has that. Anything that's like a skeleton, whether it's riding something or not, they have Kopesh as a special rule. So if you don't use their item they have, you can always switch to the Kopesh. You're always going to be on a -1, it feels like.
Nice. Yeah, so you're wearing light armor and nothing else?
Yep.
Those Bretonian Knights go up to a 4+, that's good too. So like a general rule that's going to do that for your army.
Yep. What about the Phalanx, Neil? What are we looking at?
A unit with this special rule is arrayed in a close order formation, and that is equipped with and chooses to use shields, may choose not to give ground should it lose a round of combat. However, if the winning side significantly outnumbers the losing side, it will overwhelm the loser. If the unit strength of the winning side is more than twice that of the losing side, this unit cannot use this special rule and must give ground as normal. I think you're not going to probably have to worry about that too much because you're probably going to have a lot of skeletons in a unit and you're gonna have to take a lot of damage before you got some other unit that's more than half the size, or half the strength.
So if you want to lock somebody in combat, you can. Like, this is the one army that can be like, maybe vampires can do it too, I don't know, but like, it's just, no, we're not giving ground. You don't get to refight or pile in again. You are stuck right here. And Kopeshes count as hand weapons, so you have that with your shields. So your attacks are all -1 while you have this roll with some of the stuff going on.
Yeah.
That's
now you may not get to attack back with them because your entire front rank may be gone. However, you're not going anywhere, so that huge initiative bonus is probably gone if you're charging in with cavalry, and then you see what happens after that. And so you've held them up. It's your turn, so you countercharge and you wipe out whatever in the world you just slowed down. So
yeah, because if your Tomb Guard or your Skeleton Warriors are holding up this unit, well, you probably have chariots in the flank ready to go.
Right. You better have something. This is definitely the anvil unit, right? So you better have something next to it that's gonna help close that off. So,
right. Neil, do you want to talk about the undead role as well while you were there?
Yeah, Karen, undead models with this special rule are undead. Undead models cannot march unless they have the Fly X special rule.
Ooh, the dragon does. Despite the lack of actual living wings, that dragon has fly.
That's right. It remembers and it believes in itself.
It does.
Right? And that's what's important. In addition, all undead models have the following universal special rules: fear, immune to psychology, unbreakable, and unstable. So they will not be taking break tests.
Which is
a character with a special rule cannot join a unit without this special rule, and vice versa.
What's very important is I forget whether it's through a spell here or through an item, but it's very easy to get a unit to cast fear on itself, and the way that I think spells cast, that it makes them cause terror if they already cause fear. So you can make one unit pretty
scary.
Pretty scary.
Especially to an orcs and goblins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yikes.
All right, well, while we're here, there's the Lord Nekahara. We shall review that since it's only 3 spells here.
Do we want to talk about resurrecting the fallen first?
I mean, yeah, go right ahead. I thought that was pretty self-explanatory, but I probably missed something in there, so please.
All right. So in a Tomb Kings of Khemri army, it is possible to heal a unit by recovering lost wounds and to resurrect fallen warriors. Wounds recovered in this way follow a strict order. First, any characters that have joined the unit are healed. Characters that have been reduced to 0 wounds and removed from play cannot be resurrected. Second, models with more than 1 wound on their profile are healed. Next, the unit champion is resurrected. Displacing rank and file models is required, followed by the standard bearer and musician. Finally, rank and file models are resurrected. Note that in the case of multiple wound models, each model must be fully healed, recovering all of its lost wounds before another can be healed or resurrected. Note also that at least one model must remain in order for a unit to be healed. In other words, a unit that has been reduced to 0 wounds and removed from play cannot be resurrected. Resurrected models are added to the front rank until it reaches the minimum required to claim a rank bonus, after which additional models can be added to the front or rear rank. If the unit already has more than 1 rank, models can be added to the rear rank. A unit cannot be taken beyond its starting size. Good to know that.
That's the most well-written resurrection rules I've ever seen in a war game.
Honestly, yeah.
It's clear, it's concise. Heroes first, they're important. Can't resurrect anything that's permanently dead. And your command squad comes back first. Models healed to full till otherwise declared.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Okay. No, glad we read it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we'll talk at the Lord Nekahara. So, first up, we have the enchantment. Casting value 7. Self. This is Jaff's Incantation of Cursed Blades. Enchantment, value 7, range self. Till the start of your next turn subphase, any friendly unit with the Nekaharan Undead special rule, which is everything in the army, I believe, that's within the caster's command range, may reroll any hit rolls of natural 1. Holy shit, Neil.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And you can just swap to this?
Generally speaking, command range on all these guys, they've got pretty high leadership. So you're looking at, 8 to 10 inches?
I think it's the 12 inches, 18 if you're on a monster, I believe.
Okay.
That's the thing I'll always have to look up forever, but yeah, it's pretty spicy. It's within, not wholly within.
So command range is if you're the general, it's 12. If he's up mounted, it's 18. Well, it's 18 on a large monster.
Gotcha. So on a dragon.
And then outside of that, if it's like a wizard or something and they're not mounted, you go based on their leadership.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's your command range is based on your leadership. So if we look back here at Lich Priest, you got a leadership of 8 for a High Priest. So you're looking at 8 inches there. So
That's not bad. That's 1 to 3 units pretty easily.
yeah, not bad. Not bad at all.
What about the next spell, Neil? What's going on with it?
All right. We've got an enchantment spell called Kassar's Incantation of the Desert Wind. Casting value 6+, or 10+. Range self. If this spell is cast with a casting result of 6 or more, a single friendly unit that has the Nehekaran Undead special rule and is within the caster's command range gains the reserve move special rule.
Great.
If this spell is cast with a casting result of 10 or more, every friendly unit that has the Nehekaran Undead special rule and is within the caster's command range gains the reserve move special rule. This spell lasts until the end of this turn. That is huge. For
Yes.
armies who cannot march, to be able to move at the end of the shooting phase is huge.
Yes. So you take a level 4, you take that, and you cast it every single time.
Every single time.
It'll go off very regularly, and all of a sudden you have a lot more movement that you did not expect to have. And your opponent will be like, oh, what?
Yep.
All right, last up for Lore of Nekahara. Incantation of Desiccation?
Desiccation.
Desiccation, thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm looking at that word, and I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce that. That was a weird one. All right, it is a hex, value 10, range 15. To the end of the turn, the target enemy unit suffers -1 modifiers to strength and toughness characteristics to a minimum of 1. If the spell is cast, the effects of any other hex previously cast on target immediately expire. Situational. Like, obviously, if you're against goblins, who cares? You're already well above that anyway. But if you're against elves or orcs or ogres, that can be pretty spicy.
Yeah, I love spells like this. I love hexes that affect strength and toughness. Yeah, I would cast this. I would take this every time. Absolutely.
I mean, I would take the reserve move first, but this is a good second choice, I believe, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have, yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. All right, so real quick, just some special things too. So if you take a BSB in this army, which is the Royal Herald, you have the Banner of the King, Royal Herald that has been upgraded to your Battle Standard Bearer, which you probably would do. It's the only reason to bring this model, I think. Replaces Hold Your Ground rule given in the Warhammer of the Old World with the version given below, which is friendly units within the Battle Standard Bearer's command range, which will be 8 inches in this case, may reroll any failed leadership test. In addition, friendly units within the Battle Standard Bearer's range can reduce their number of wounds lost to unstable by D3. And that's also going to stack with things like Indomitable to reduce that even further.
Mm-hmm.
So you could keep, like, you get, what's my favorite? The Tomb Guard. A nice little choppy priest in there, or choppy prince in there, this guy in there, or just nearby. You're going to have a pretty spicy unit that's going to be around for quite a while. Probably I think one of the best anvils you could probably develop pretty easily for the price, at least.
Yeah.
And also you can transfer hits from any royalty type thing to to this guy as well. So he's a good bodyguard. Now, Neil, there's some other things too, like Beneath the Sands with the Lich Priest and Arise. Do you want to run through those at all, or one of those?
Let me find that here
page
first.
128 if you've following along at home.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a pretty army specific type of ability here.
Yeah. So you want to do a rise?
Yeah, go for Arise, Neil.
All right, Arise. During the command subphase of their turn, if they are not engaged in combat, this character may attempt to resurrect the fallen. And we've already stated that these guys do not need to be anywhere near combat, right?
Mm-hmm.
See page 154, by making a leadership test. Using their own leadership. If this test is passed, a single friendly unit that has the Nehekaran Undead special rule and is within 12 inches of the character recover a number of lost wounds. However, magically repairing gigantic undead constructs is much harder than raising skeletons from the sand. Therefore, however many wounds are recovered depends on that unit's troop type and the character's level of wizardry. So, and then it's explained down there. I'm not going to bother to read every single one of them. But I think the biggest take home from this is not a spell.
Nope.
This is
An
the only
ability.
way to really interact with this, or to make this more difficult, is maybe to find something that lowers the leadership of these
Yeah,
characters, right?
which
I mean, that, or get in combat. But we already said if they've allowed that to happen, they're probably losing the game anyway.
right.
So
This
yeah, so
this
this is super good.
this rule of Arise right here made me kit bash a Lich Priest on a horse just to run around on their own behind the units. Just to be like, nope, you can't. You're never going to touch me. I shall always do this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Remember that thing that you did all those wounds to?
And
Well, guess what? It's that dragon that you brought down with 2 wounds left. Sorry, I happen to have a couple of these Lich priests in my army, which is what you're going to do, by the way.
yeah,
So I think if you're looking to play competitively, Lich priests are kind of the way to go here.
yeah, because like you could take the level 3 at 140 or level 1 at 55. I mean, you can bump them up to the 4 or 2, but taking 3 level 1s at 55. I mean, this is the only case I would say where I'd say you take a level 4 and you take maybe a few extra level 1s just for abilities behind the line, because they have nice abilities besides casting spells.
Yeah,
And maybe they're far enough out of range they can throw out some templates for fun.
Yeah.
Pillar of Fire.
Okay, they don't have to be high level wizards because you're not casting this, which is the biggest take home. So
And they also have something else special from Beneath the Sands. So during the command subphase of their turn, if they're not engaged in combat, which they most likely will not be, this character may choose a single friendly unit that has both Nekahar and Undead and Ambusher special rule, and that's currently held in reserve, and attempt to summon it by making a leadership test using your own leadership. If passed, chosen unit is successfully summoned and can be placed on the battlefield anywhere completely within 12 inches of this model, but not within 6 inches of an enemy model. This unit cannot charge during this turn, but counts as having moved for the purpose of shooting, and can otherwise act as normal. And if it's failed, it's just delayed for another turn. Now, before we read maybe the Hierophant special rule, there's a specific thing you're going to do this with. Neil, do you know what the skeletons, the scorpions are?
oh yes.
Yep, where they are.
I've heard tell of these tomb scorpions and how
Yes.
good they are.
Yes. There's a good reason why you can only have 3 in the army. I think that might even be a little aggressive. Tomb scorpions. All right.
There we go. Want me to read off the profile?
You go right ahead.
You got a movement 7, a weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 0. It's not shooting anything. Strength 5, toughness 5, wounds 3, initiative 3, attacks 4, leadership 8, and 70 points. It is a monstrous creature, and it comes equipped with decapitating claws. Decapitating claws are strength S with a -2 AP with killing blow and monster slayer.
That's pretty good.
Watch out. Good gravy. And they also have an envenom sting. Envenom sting is strength S with poison attacks and strike first. So you're also looking for special rules. Is close order indomitable 1, magic resistance -1, Nekahar and Undead, regeneration of 6+, stomp attacks D3, swift stride, and vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So this is a nice, big, beefy boy to bring up real close to the enemy and just surround.
Yes. Wow. Gotta have some high strength attacks. Take that bad boy out.
Sure do.
Good
Toughness
lady.
5. My goodness. Plus, I think there's an extra rule that I'm missing here. Maybe it's in the other rule book that allows them to do some damage on the way in as well.
Oh boy.
Trying to find it. I've had it done to me, but I can't quite recall where it's at in this book here. But let's just know that you do not want them appearing near you.
Well, it's a leadership test, so the chances are they're going to.
Yeah, you don't really get much of a choice here.
There is no counterplay to that outside of debuffing leadership.
Not at all. So that's a good boy to bring in. It's well worth the ambusher upgrade point there. So
yeah, 5 points for that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean they're individual models. The hard thing is that they're hard to get right now. Like good luck finding them other than 3D printing.
They would be good.
Yeah. I'm glad my local group only has 1 right now. The local Tomb Kings player Mark, he only has 1 physically, so he only ever brings 1. Because if there was 2, It would be awful. Trying to see, because I know there's just another rule for them, but I'm missing it somewhere. That's all right. Nope. Nope. Ah, here we go. So we'll get to it whenever we talk about the mortuary cult for the Tomb Kings, okay? That's where it's located. I knew there was something. But for now, a couple standouts for me. I like Tomb Guard. I'm a Tomb Guard person. Weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 4. That's why I'm a Tomb Guards fan. Only one wound each, but leadership 7. Cleaving blow, close order. They're indomitable by nature. Regeneration, and a regimental unit. So I just like them. I've liked them since 8th edition. They're cool. But just being strength 4, toughness 4 as skeletons is just phenomenally good to me. Neil, do you have a standout unit, or are you going to go right to chariots?
I'm actually I want to point out this dragon here, right? It's a new hotness here. So movement 6, weapon skill 4, strength 6, +1 toughness, has to be written, right? All good so far. And then we've got wounds +5. That's what I love right there. So you got wounds +5. And it's not just wounds +5, right? Because if you're doing this right, you're going to be healing the shit out of this thing. So it's got a lot of wounds. It's got a lot of staying power. So you're going to have, like, if you're going to try and take one of these things out, boy, you better commit. And you better commit hard to taking one of them out, because chances are, if you leave them on just a couple wounds left, and with probably going to be toughness 5, I'd imagine.
Yep, probably easily.
You're going to have to put some work into killing it for sure. So,
yeah,
it's got good stomp attacks, D6, indomitable 2, large target, terror, swift stride, cloud of dust, dries dust, flying 9, so it's fast. So breath weapon. So,
and I mean, you could put this Lich Priest on that. It's doing the Arise. It's doing the Beneath the Stands, and it's also what we need to go back to, your Hierophant, Neil.
Yeah.
Which is very important. So, do you want your Hierophant to always live? This is not a bad option.
Right.
Because your army
I
must.
don't know that you're going to put your priest on this thing.
I don't think you will either.
Yeah.
I was just trying to segue it in. So what is the Hierophant? Your army must include at least one Lich Priest to be the Hierophant. Your army includes several Lich Priests. The Hierophant will be the one with the highest level of wizardry. 2 or more models are the same. You may choose blah, 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 blah. Let's do it when you're deploying, or before you deploy. Should the Hierophant be slain, the magical animus of the army starts to dissipate. As soon as it's removed from play as a casualty, all friendly units with the Nekahar and Undead special rule lose their regeneration X special rule, so no more regens for the army-wide. And at the end of the phase in which your Hierophant was removed from play as a casualty, and during your start of turn sub-phase for the remainder of the game, all friendly Nekahar units must take a leadership test, and you start losing wounds equal to whatever you go over by. It's just like it was in old edition. The thing holding your army together dies, you leadership test everything, and you just watch your army crumble. And guess what? You're not arising anything, most likely. You might be able to if you have multiple priests, but your army starts to fall apart very quickly, which is why, again, you don't get them in combat. Your first instinct might be to put them on a dragon to keep them alive, but if you're bringing a dragon and not putting it into combat, I think your opponent already kind of won the mental game there.
Yeah. I think, they're definitely not going to be the one that leads the charge.
No.
Right? Nor should they. So if you think about it, they're going to send the slaves and the goon squad in first, right, to get killed. And then if you're going to be using the dragon, you're going to want to be putting it in, in a very advantageous spot.
Right.
So, but you're going to have to kind of wait a little bit, and you hope that you don't wait too long. That's the play there.
Right.
So.
And besides all the skeletons and such, you have some standout units like the Ushbati, which I'm a fan of. They have a ranged version and a melee version. High strength, high toughness, units of 3. Multiple wounds of 3 each. Pretty good. Bigger base size. I like running them in units of 3, personally. It's also Tomb Swarms. They have ambushers for +2 points, which is what you do. They just run out, they just die, they get in the way. Carrion, much the same thing. Skeleton Horsemen, whether they have a bow or spear or whatever you have them. They're just nuisances. You want them they're gonna die.
Mm.
But
I'm
Necropolis, we'll say, yeah,
as
go
far
ahead.
as rule of cool goes, I'm a big fan of the Necropolis Knights.
Yeah, I knew you would be there. Cool as heck. So tell us
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
Necropolis Knights.
So basically, what you got is like a big cobra-looking construct, and a guy riding on top. He's surfing on top of it.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
pretty sweet. And then they're pretty effective as well. So you've got the Necropolis Knight himself, who's a weapon skill 4. Forget about the ballistic skill. Strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 3, initiative 3, attacks 2, leadership 8, 54 points.
Don't be scoffed. Initiative 3 is pretty high for Tomb Kings, by the way. You're usually 2 or less.
Yeah, so you're looking at a 7 on a charge with these guys.
Yep.
And they are movement 7 from the Necro Serpent, which is weapon skill 3, strength 5, initiative 3 as well, and attacks 3. So you're looking at 5 attacks per plate for these guys. And they're poisoned attacks. They've got Swift Stride, Armor Hide 1.
So that's 6 up, 5. That's
light
a 4 up
shield,
armor. That's a 4 up armor. Yep.
Yep. So they got a Kopesh as well. So these guys they got cavalry spears. They're coming in at +1 strength. They're going to hit hard. Real hard. So you can purchase Magic Standard up to 50 points, which is great. And if you take a captain, you can take points up to 25. So if you want to really make a nasty fighty unit, this is one of the ones you can do it with.
Yep, I have a unit of 3 of these, and I love them every time. It's hard not to start singing Bad Blood in my head because it's snakes. And actually, real quick, because, hey, welcome back. It's the season of the Taylor Swift Eras Tour is back, starting in Paris this weekend. So let's put that picture back up there to celebrate. There we go. There we go. Hopefully we get reputation.
Done. She'll be worth another $1 billion.
Exactly. Actually, I saw a great news article where people are flying to Europe for her concert from America, and with the flight and hotel, ticket prices are sometimes cheaper than they were in America with the whole Ticketmaster issue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Goodness. Well, I mean, but then again, you are in Europe, so you're making a vacation out of it.
Exactly. So maybe my wife wants to go to Europe. We'll find out. Yeah, Necropolis Knights, they're good. They're cool. They're iconic. Stalkers, which are pretty much the snakes without the riders, with some extra rules. I've never really used them before, but they have Petrifying Gaze, which is nice. Could be do multiple wounds, magic attacks. Their tails, extra attacks D3. There's also the chariots. Neil, we love chariots.
Love chariots.
Yep.
So what we got here? We got movement 8 on these guys, which is probably the most important stat on a chariot is how fast they're moving.
Mm-hmm.
The guys are carrying cavalry spears, war bows. They got skeletal hooves. All these are not the greatest stats in the world, but you're not really worried about them. The guys on top attack, and really what you want to see out of a chariot is some impact hits, and they've got D3 impact hits apiece. They're open order. Arrows of Asaph, so when they do shoot, it's that 5+.
Yep.
Dry as dust. They are horde, which is useful as well for extra combat res on those guys. And when you're talking chariots, you really want combat res because really what you're using a chariot for is to go knock out that front rank that's fighting back.
Yep.
If you want to get in there with the impact hits, smoke that front rank, and
just that combat res them out. Yeah.
After that, yeah. So now. There is, I believe these get, if we look at the armies of infamy, these get much better in a certain army of infamy.
Yep,
if I'm not mistaken.
They do.
So
you are missing the Kopesh in this unit, so you don't have that flat -1. No Kopesh.
Yeah. No Kopesh. That's interesting. I wonder why.
But they do have a natural reserve move, which is pretty solid.
Yeah, reserve move is just so good, and reserve move on something that moves 8 inches is very good.
Yep.
So,
Yep, solid. Definitely great core choice there. We talked about the Bone Dragon a little bit. War Sphinxes are fun. I like them. They're just big beasties that you can put fun things on. Tomb Guard crew. I think you can mount characters upon them as well, because it's just a Howdah. Obviously, we talked about Tomb Scorpion, the Colossus. Yeah, if you like giants, there you go. Colossus is our way to go. Necro Sphinx, it's the model I don't have yet that I really want to buy because it's just the most gorgeous model I've seen for the Tomb Kings. And I don't have one yet, and it's been sold out. It's just choppy beast. Strength 5, toughness 6, wound 6. Do you like dragons without being a dragon?
There you go.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? Who
It,
doesn't?
it even has fly 9. Like it's not like it's it's not like a carnosaur. It's like a carnosaur that flies. It's just great. It's wonderful. Target, large target, sure, Indomitable 2, terror, killing blow on pretty much everything it has. First strike on its tail. Like it can do some work. I'm a fan.
Mhm. I think if we're going to talk, one of the major winners in the book here too, we should probably take a look at Casket of Souls.
Should we? Yeah. Let's just bypass streaming cell catapults. They're fun. I like them. You can bring them, but we're going to Casket of Skulls.
Yeah.
Neil, tell me why this is in every single Tomb King's army you should ever take.
Well, if we're going to talk about that, we're going to have to look at all the rules for it.
Okay.
I've never played against Tomb Kings yet, so I've not got to experience the lovely little item. But what it is a war machine.
It's 135 points.
135 points. Pretty cheap as it comes. So you've got Casket Guardians, and they have hand weapons, great weapons, and light armor.
They have the cleaving blow specifically.
Cleaving blow. So special rules are cleaving blow, covenant of power, dry as dust, immovable objects, so you're not moving it anywhere. Indomitable 2, Nehekaran undead, regeneration 5+, skirmishers, unbound spirits, and vortex of souls.
Nice.
So covenant of power is whilst within 12 inches of a casket of souls, friendly Lich priests may apply a +1 modifier to any casting rolls they make, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, any model, friend or foe that casts a bound spell within 12 inches of the casket of souls may apply a +1 modifier to the casting roll as well, which is also good. There is a note, however, that this bonus does not apply to any bound spells cast by the casket of souls.
That would be a little overpowered. That's fair. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you keep. I mean, 12 inches is a pretty long range to keep your Lich Priest on the horse nearby to do their special reserve move cast. That is suddenly way too easy to cast.
Yeah. A 10+ is looking a lot more achievable at that point.
Mm-hmm,
huh?
Mm-hmm. Right, movable object. Once you've placed on the battlefield during deployment, it cannot be moved by its crew during the remaining move subphases. So you want to. I don't want to say you put it on the line, but you gotta put it up close enough that it's effective. Without, even if it dies, like it's not gonna die right away. It's still toughness 6 and shooting tough. It's still pretty spicy. But like you're gonna put it up there, I think, depending on your play style and what army you're bringing around it.
So they have unbound spirits. If the crew of the Casket of Souls is reduced to 0 wounds, immediately roll a d6 for every unit, friend or foe, within 12 inches of this model. On a 4+, the unit suffers d6 strength 3 hits with no armor or regeneration saves permitted. Ward saves can be attempted as normal. Once these hits are resolved, the Casket of Souls is removed from play.
Yep. And its Vortex of Souls ability, it's essentially has following bound spells with a power level of 3, Light of Death, casting 7, range 36, magic missile.
36-inch range magic missile.
Yep.
That is bonkers.
Target unit must immediately make a leadership test. If passed, suffers D3 strength 3 hits with AP -1. If the test is failed, D6 + 3 strength 3, each with a multiple wounds 2 special rule with no armor or regen allowed, just ward saves.
Jeez.
If you pass it, you take what is usually a normal thing. And if you fail it, you know lube for you.
If you're playing a Bretonnian army with a bunch of Grail Knights and such, you really better be hoping you're rolling those ward saves. Well, you don't even get your ward save.
No, you do get ward saves.
Oh, you do get ward.
So
okay,
you get ward saves.
Right.
That's it.
Whew. You better hope you're passing those things because your armor save is now kaput.
All right, and you also have lighted protection. Enchantment, casting value 8, range self remains in play. Whilst this bound spell remains in play, this model and any friendly unit within 18, which is massive, gains a 6+ ward save against any wounds suffered. Not special things, just wounds. In addition, whilst this bound spell is in play, enemy units, this is the most important part I think, suffer a -1 modifier to any rolls to hit made against this model and any friendly model within 18 inches. However, this model casts Light of Death bound spell. The bound spell within immediately expires. So that -1 is so clutch. I have lost games because of that spell alone.
Yeah.
I have charged in to a unit of chariots with white lines, swung first with that -1, and lost combat.
Mm.
It is so important how big +1, -1 to hit is in this game.
Oh, it's really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're talking about Age of Sigmar, -1's like meh. I'll just give myself a +1, right?
Yeah.
But there's no equivalent to that in this game, right? So -1, you're working real hard on that weapon skill, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we don't care. Just subtract whatever it is.
Yep.
So that's devastating. I ran into a unit of oh Jesus, playing Beastmen. I don't know if the bigger gores or whatever they are.
Yeah.
And they have great weapons, all the rest of this stuff. Ran into them with black orcs, thinking I was going to just take these things apart. And they had a hero with -1 to hit on it, and that was a back and forth slobber knocker. Much harder to get rid of that unit than I anticipated. So
Nice. Well, before we go to the Arcane Journal itself, Neil, for magic items, was there anything that stood out to you there? Because like I honestly feel with what I have in the army itself, I don't care as much about magic items. I feel like there's just a lot of potent energy inside this army already.
yeah, outside of, I mean, I've only literally looked into the list. I haven't looked into any
Like,
of these. So if you know of any that are
The flail skulls is cool. Combat strength +3. It's the usual -1 for flail, but since it's not a flail, you always get the -1, not the first round of combat. Magical attacks, which is important because it's kind of lacking in this army. Multiple wounds too, but it requires 2 hands. That's a standout to me. Put that on your Tomb King on Dragon, if I'm honest. Armor Ages is pretty nice too. Reroll successful rolls to wound made against the wearer. I haven't really looked at the banners if I'm honest with you. But hey, look, Icon of Sacred Eye. Unit carrying this icon has a +1 modifier to its weapon skill characteristic to maximum of 10. That seems pretty clutch. Put that on Tomb Kings. Their Tomb Guard right away.
Have you played against any Tomb Kings or with your Tomb Kings and really found any of these things to be game changing at all? Any of these items?
No, nothing like it's. I'm not. I've played Tomb Kings probably about 2 or 3 times now. I've never lost due to like a magic item that was memorable. I've lost to the rules and casting of this army.
Yeah.
Which was it necromancy, illusion, and elementalism, I think is the cast you can take in this army. And then obviously the Nekahara one.
So why spend 200 points on magic items when you could just get more priests?
Possibly, yeah. It's definitely a way to look at it. I mean, if you see magic, but the thing is, like, since there's no magic items that stand out one way or the other, if there's one that you see, hey, this fits a need I'm having, like the magic attacks, go for it. I say don't feel obligated to overload on these, but don't feel like you're wasting points if you take 1 or 2 of these. At least within the core Ravening Hordes book. But like I said, if you take not much, you're still pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, Neil, should we go to the Arcane Journal?
Let's do it. Now, I don't have the Arcane Journal, so all I have is some knowledge, some smatterings on the internet of what these Arcane Journals do. So
that's fine. We'll just look at a few things here because they're fun. So obviously within this book, there's a couple new characters and items. The biggest one, Cetra. Cetra's back. Too far. A little too far. Cetra, nice 445 points. He's a level 1 wizard. He knows lore of necromancy. He's got lots of abilities. Indomitable 3, impact hits 2d3, regeneration 5+. Cetra does not kneel. Cetra the Great. Like, so many rules. So let me go through them because it's a lot. He's the commander of legions. Cetra gains the Arise special rule, which we talked about earlier, and unlike other models with this special rule, he may use it even when engaged in combat. Just huge.
Wow.
He does not kneel. He must always accept challenges unless Nekaf, Emissary Cetra, is engaged in the same combat in which Nekaf may accept the challenges in Cetra's behalf. But with weapon skill 7, strength 6, toughness 5, initiative 3, attacks 5, leadership 10, you're probably going to take it on Cetra. Unless it's like something that's absolutely going to just destroy him, which is going to be rare, if I'm honest with you. Cetra the Great.
Well, 500 points, it should be rare.
You should, yeah. You're probably taking... And also, like, too, like, if you're taking Cetra and his emissary is not going to be nearby anyway.
Yeah.
Like Cetra's gonna be on this
Roll with
chariot,
the
dude.
chariot, yeah.
Chariot of the gods, yeah. Let's see, Cetra the Great. If your army includes him, he must be the general and must be chosen as the army's hierophant, which is fun. If he does so, if he does not have the highest level of wizardry in your army, in addition, so he's commander range of 18. He's always your general, no matter what. Every other rule does not apply, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Chariot of the Gods. Impact hits caused by Chariot of the Gods have flaming attacks and magical attacks. Important. And when fielded within a Nekharan royal host army, this model may join a unit of Tomb Guard chariots if the troop types, as if its troop type was light chariot, because he's not a light chariot. But he can act as such. And also, Neil, I'm not sure if you noticed there, you just took your favorite unit, chariots, with my favorite unit of Tomb Guards, and said, "Hey, what if we made them kiss?" So now you have amazing chariots.
Yeah.
Okay. He also has Crown of Nekahara. Cetra's My Will Be Done special rule affects all friendly units with Nekahara and Undead special rule within 6 inches of him, not just the unit he has joined. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you mean to cast this on a unit? How about you cast it to everything nearby? Oh, he also has the Sacred Brooch of Usirian. He has a 5-up ward against any wounds suffered. That's great. Yeah, he's a 5-up regen. He's a 5-up ward. Why not? Just why not?
Well, that's pretty typical on your big heroes these days. So.
I mean, yeah. And the Blessed Blade of Petra. Strength is normal, which is 6. AP -3. Flaming attacks, magic weapons requires 2 hands. Any enemy model that suffers 1 or more unsaved wounds from the Blessed Blade of Petra suffers a -1 modifier to its rolls to hit, both when shooting and in combat for the remainder of the game.
Oof.
Now, Neil, I would imagine you have a nice big chunky unit of White Lions that just charge Cetra's unit. Oh, there's a casket nearby, a -1 to hit. Okay, I killed 1 chariot. That's great. That's great. All right. Cetra swings back, kills 2 or 3 guys, but now you're -2 as long as you're next to that casket.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, those White Lions, which were hitting pretty easily, not hitting pretty well at all, and then all of a sudden that unit just dies.
Yeah.
Real hard, real fast. It is.
Uh-huh.
So, and the reason I say this is, I feel what the play is you bring a casket of souls, all right, and you put it near the line, and you put Cetra also near that line. You let Cetra's chariot unit be charged. All right. You let him be charged. Who cares? Bring a nice big beef unit charged. They kill 2 or 3. You're gonna bring back anyway. And then Cetra alone will kill enough to equal the combat res, and you probably will win it.
Yeah.
And you push them back, and then it's your turn, and then you charge in, and they're already -2 because they'll still be near the casket. Cetra did a wound to the unit. They're -2 to hit. And I think if you swing again, they're suddenly -3. That's a recipe for just fucking anything up. It's weird to say, like, I don't want Cetra to charge. I want Cetra to be charged. Let him combat beast it, push him back, and then charge in on his turn. Because with that casket nearby, you are just going to wreck stuff.
And this, young wargamers, is why you have to bring a balanced list with shooting, because if you don't give them a reason to come to you in situations like this, you're going to be in some trouble. So whether you do that with war machines or whatever, I know war machines are getting kind of poo-pooed right now. And, if you hit Tomb Kings with war machines, you're just going to heal them all back. So, it's like, what do you do there? So, but you got to stay out of range of that casket for sure. It's not moving. So you know exactly how far away you need to be, but that 36-inch Ranger is coming in at you one way or another.
Yep. All right, some other quick characters here. So you have Prince Apophas, the Cursed Scarab Lord. He's the scarab ghost thingy. Weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 3. He flies, which is kind of cool as a character. He's a loner. He does cause terror, so he can be a little terror bomb running around. Let's see. Should he lose his last wound before the small is removed from play, all enemy units within 2d6 suffer 2d6 strength 2 hits, AP -1, because the scarabs just kind of scatter and fly and kill things. So he has a Reaper. After deployment, nominate a single character in your opponent's muster list. He may reroll any fail to hit or 2 wound rolls made against a character. In addition, any hits inflicted upon him by the nominated character gain the magical attack special rule. Okay. And Swarming Mass, it's a breath weapon, strength 2. When making 2 wound rolls, this weapon on a 4+ always success regardless of the toughness. So I like him. I wish I could add him in because he just feels like a cool little character to run around and just cause havoc on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
I've never liked him before, but now I do. this rule set.
It's good.
Let's see. Oh, the Emissary of Cetra, the guy who reads out his like thousands of names. Weapon skill 5, not bad. Strength 4, toughness 4, multiple wounds. It's pretty good. 3 attacks. He has the ooh, okay. Herald of Despair. An enemy unit in base contact with a unit he has joined must roll an extra d6 on a fear test. So that's fun. Discard the lowest. So extra fear test going on there.
Fear test, though, I mean, fear so rarely gets rolled because of unit strengths, right? So
yeah, but I think with Undead Tomb Kings, you're bringing like you put him in a big enough unit that you'll probably be able to force it because it's so cheap. I feel like Tomb Kings are the one place where fear tests do actually matter. You're still likely going to pass it anyway, but he's 120 points. I'm not sure if he's worth it to bring in just to make people fail 1 fear test against your skeleton. I mean, if you're really buffing up a Tomb King or Tomb Guard army list, maybe. But he's Cetra's champion. Must always issue and accept challenges if possible. However, challenges issued by Nekav cannot be refused. In addition, whilst engaged in combat, he is strike first. Or Nekav strikes a killing blow if he rolls a natural 5 or 6 on the win roll rather than 6. Not strike first. His killing blow is a 5 or 6. That's fine. I'm still like his flail is kind of neat. Strength +2, so it'll be strength 6 on this, -2 AP. Magical attacks, multiple wounds 2, requires 2 hands. That -2 only counts in the first round of combat. It's a flail. I don't know. He's neat. He's a cool new model. I still don't know if I'd bring him. I've not figured out how I'd want to bring him anyway.
Yeah.
Ooh, as I accidentally bring up a picture of Taylor Swift again because I hit the space bar. Oh well.
So why don't we talk about the army restrictions for some of these guys?
Yeah, because everything else is just more beefed up units of what we've seen before. So let's talk about first the Royal Host. Does that sound good to you?
Let's do it.
All right, so you have 1 Tomb King or Tomb Prince, Mortuary Priests, and Royal Heralds. 1+ Skeleton Chariots, 0-1 Tomb Guard or Tomb Guard Chariots as core, Skeleton Archers, Infantry cohorts, and Cavalry cohorts. Special Tomb Guard, Skeleton Skirmishers, Horse Archers, Ushbati, Necropolis Knights, Tomb Guard. 0-2 Tomb Scorpions, 0-2 War Sphinxes, and then obviously rare is 0-2 Skull Catapults. So this is definitely like I want to bring Cetra and I want to bring Chariots.
Yeah.
That's what this list is.
How many priests are you allowed to have?
As many. You have to have 1 Tomb King or 2 Prince or Tomb Prince, but up to 50% of your list can be anything else of Mortuary Priests, Royal Heralds after that first guy.
But no high priest though.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, so you're not going to be doing a ton of healing, maybe, depending on how many of those little guys you bring. So.
Right, and it does limit you. Like you're not bringing everything inside of here. Like you might have noticed in this specific one that's built for Cetra. Mm-hmm. There's no what's it called? Casket.
So you have the casket.
Right. So,
okay.
So the list I'm thinking of would not be this list specifically.
Okay.
So you'd be normal chariots and such. That'd be nightmarish if you could take the Tomb Guard chariots plus that combo.
Okay.
Some extra special rules here. Grind them down. Whilst within the general's command range, friendly models whose troop type is chariot may reroll the dice when rerolling a determined number of impact hits. That's great. You're going,
That's awesome.
yeah, you're going chariot heavy of this list.
Huge, yeah.
Language of the priests. The general of Nekahar and Royal Host must be a Tomb King or Tomb Prince. For plus 35 points, this character may have a Rise special rule and be a level 1 wizard. If so, this character knows spells from Lore of Necromancy, must also be chosen as your army's hierophant. If he does not have the highest wizard level in your army, a wizard with this special rule may wear armor without penalty. So you still get access to that Arise special rule that you're kind of missing out on, just on a a character that may die a little quicker. 0 to 1 skeleton skirmishers per 1,000 points may have ambusher special rule for free. It's fine. Masterful outriders, 0 to 1 skeleton horse archers per 1,000 points may have chariot runners for free. That is fantastic because you're bringing chariots, so why not bring the thing to stop people from killing your chariots before they get to charge you?
Perfect. Yep.
And steadfast discipline. Unit with this special rule can volley fire during a turn in which it moved whilst performing stand and shoot charge reaction. Oh, that's right. You can stand and shoot now as undead. You can't do it in 8th edition. You can do it in this edition. So it's great. Like I said, to me, this is where, if you want the thematic chariot list, put Cetra in here because it's fun. You don't have to put Cetra in here, but I think you might. I think Cetra's probably better suited outside of this list if you're going for a competitive play, but still, it's fun.
Yeah.
Tomb Guard chariots are nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, and then the mortuary cult. This has some spicy fun stuff in it. So 1+ high priest or mortuary priest. 0 to 1 tomb prince or arch necrotech per 1,000 points and necrotechs. Core, warriors, archers, skirmishers, horsemen, horse archers, as many as you want of those. 0 to 1 tomb swarms, 0 to 1 ushpati, and 0 to 1 necro serpents, maybe core. Special 1+ per 1,000 points of tomb scorpions. So you're gonna have two in this one. Ushpati, venerable ushpati, tomb swarms, carrion, sepulchral stalkers, necroserpents, and skeleton chariots. And 0 to 1 necrolith colossus or necrosphinx may be taken as special. And your rare is going to be the colossus and necrosphinx. 0 to 2 skull catapults per 1,000 points, and 0 to 1 casket souls per 1,000 points. So if you like the priest wizard things, that's what this list is all about. And by the way, remember how we could bring in that tomb scorpions? Those 2 tomb scorpions we have in this list, Neil, pretty easily. Let's see, terrors below. One of the special rules here. Any tomb scorpion or unit of necroserpents, so there you go, you can do it to them too, may have the special rule for +2 points per model. When a unit with this special rule is placed on the battlefield as a result of using From Beneath the Sands, which is what the priest will do, it may nominate a single enemy within 8 inches. Keep in mind these come in within 6 inches of any enemy units within 12 of the priest, and whose troop type is regular infantry or heavy infantry. The nominated enemy must immediately make a number of initiative tests equal to the unit's strength of this unit. For each test that has failed, a single model belonging to this nominated unit is removed from play as a casualty. Let me tell you how many Swordmasters I can lose in one go. More than I would like at 14 points. And you can do that twice. You can be like, boom, boom. Here's you have these 2 great units. Oh, you're playing dwarves? Yeah, you're not anymore. Like, yikes. That is reason to take this type of army anyway. I just love that rule, and it's so nightmarishly strong.
Yeah. Oof.
Other things in this army: authority of the hierophant. Mortuary cult may include at least 1 lich priest to be the hierophant. It allows you to make something in general outside of normal rules there. Harmonious incantations. A lich priest within the mortuary cult army can use a riot special rule while it's within command range of 1 or more other friendly lich priests. The number of lost wounds chosen recovers increased by 1, so an extra +1 to that. And sepulchral animus. Before making casting rolls, any lich priest within mortuary cult may draw upon the magical animus of the nearby undead constructs. To do so, nominate a friendly unit that has Nekahar undead special rule that is within the lich priest's command range and whose troop type is swarms, monstrous infantry, monstrous cavalry, monstrous creature, or behemoth. The nominated unit loses 1 to 3 wounds, as chosen by the controlling player, and you get to use that to increase your casting.
Pretty good.
pretty good. Pretty good. And there's some extra items in here too. I'm not going to worry too much about them because, like I said, I think this is one of those armies where like the rules alone stand out more than the magic items as far as like what's doing the damage. What I'm going to remember as pissing me off after I've lost the game.
Yeah. You're still always going to want, anything that keeps your priest or your important pieces alive. If you can find an item that's going to help do that, then that's what you want to do. I don't know about, you're not going to put any weapons really on any of these priests or anything like that in any list that you're running. So, maybe on the king, whatever king you choose to run if you're not running Citra. But yeah.
If you're taking it, if you are out there and you bought the starter set, you're probably taking the king on the dragon. More than I don't know if you're gonna take the king on the dragon and Citra. I don't think you're gonna fit that in the list. So you have to make that choice. So, but if you're taking Citra, take the chariots around him.
Yeah, for sure.
Bring a casket to help.
Plus, it looks
up.
cool.
Yeah, he looks cool.
It looks freaking cool, man. Dude thing looks cool.
It's very cool. What I will say though, thinking some of my games, you might want to if you're getting run over by Tomb Kings, you might be like, hey, can you write down your list next time and tell me what you're playing? Because it's very easy to see all these amazing rules mixed throughout all this and start pulling all the good stuff. Because there's a lot of good stuff, but it's very rightfully spread out amongst the different types of armies you can bring. So just that I would say caution that, because if I want to bring all this cool stuff, but you can't because it's written in a specific way that you can bring a few cool things. So keep that in mindset if you're playing against this, or writing the list yourself, to watch out. Like, it's a lot of cool stuff, and I know you want to take it all, but you're only gonna get a few things here and there based upon the style of army you're taking.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. But Neil, what are you feeling about Tomb Kings? You ready to start that army?
I'm excited to play against them at some point. I'm glad I know a little bit more about them and what makes them tick here. So now nobody in my local scene that I know plays them, so I'm gonna have to come out to Pittsburgh, get a couple of games in, unless you bring them sometime and smash them into my high elves or my orcs.
Yeah, I think I might, because they're the next army I want to bring out other than the high elves. High elves are fun, but I feel like I've got control of like how to play them, so I'm ready to branch out. Tomb Kings would be a nice way, because I really want to get that dragon played.
Sure.
I just want to run a dragon. I want to do that. They're good in this edition,
so
why not?
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, it's half the reason to play fantasy. I mean, come on now.
But yeah, the only thing I'm missing right now out of the list of what I have is I wish I had a single Tomb Scorpion. At least one. I mean, 2 would be ideal, but I want at least one. Whether I'm taking Mortuary Cult or not, just because of the just bit of a beat stick it is. So
at least in the meantime, 3D printing doesn't have to be a dirty word. So
it absolutely does not.
At least to tide you over until
Actually, I won't lie. I'm trying to decide. Like, I'm doing the Bretonnians next, obviously, for Tale of Four Warlords. But I think my next fantasy army for Old World, I think I might essentially commission you to fully 3D print it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
just to do one.
I've never kind of fun even just to have something that is that army, but isn't that army? It's your army.
Yeah, like I have alternate sculpts for different armies, but like just a full army where it's just all alternative sculpts would be a blast. Plus, I can get STLs that I can provide to you, and then I can pay for your service and your resin, and it's a win-win. And I still save money.
Right. Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But yeah, Tomb Kings, I'm a fan. I like them. Great army. I can't say much else other than just play them. Yeah.
They're
easy to paint too.
Oh God, yeah, that is a huge plus to this army. Yeah, you get 2,000 points done lickety split.
Yeah. You can put into detail with them for sure, but you can get them done quick if you want to as well.
Yeah, you want a tabletop quality army and you want it fast. That's the one. That's the one you take.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Neil. Anything else as we wrap up the show here? Last thoughts.
That's it for me. I hope to. I've been starting to work a little bit on getting my Sisters of Avalon, my next thing for our next thing, which we'll talk about later.
Yep.
So,
stop being so far ahead on this. I am purposely slowing down. You're going too quick, sir.
I know. When I get excited, you know how I am.
I know. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's great.
You can always tell when I'm excited.
I can, yeah. Hey, Neil, I need you to paint one hero this month. Here's 3.
Yeah, here's 3. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Here's
Fair.
all
All
of
right.
them.
All right. All right. Fair. Yeah, gotcha.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, anyway, that will wrap up this show of Tomb Kings. Like I said, we have to do Bretonians yet, but if I appear on Warhammer Weekly talking about Bretonians, I might just count that as our show for that. We'll see. We'll see. Because also, Bretonians are fun.
Mm-hmm.
They are super fun. But next week, Neil, I think we're going to be bringing chat about some reveals that are going to be happening.
Oh.
Yep, we have Dallas, so we'll be here to talk about the reveals that we see along the way. They're kind of spread out throughout the whole thing, so we'll see if there's enough on the first ones to talk about. If not, we'll find another great topic to chat through.
I'm willing to bet we're going to be talking about a lot of rats.
Rats,
Rat.
and Lightning Men. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, till next time, everybody. You stay Stormcast strong and happy hobbying.